Well, everybody, we're here to complete the great original Evangelion discussion series. I don't have a bona fide intro this time, something clever or interesting to say. I don't want to scream about dead people, because who would you really scream about? Oh, EliteAri, pretend to introduce me for a second. I just thought of one.
Well, hello everyone. This is Kyle Entertainment.
EliteAri. That fucking gay boy is fucking dead!
True.
Did you cry? He did die.
Okay.
Shout out my man Karu, but we'll talk about him later.
He's not a
Karu
boy,
died,
right?
nobody else did. Huh?
He's not a boy.
Well, he could be, maybe.
He's a
You reckon he had a
life
penis?
He's also not gay either.
Oh,
I don't know.
this is a bit of discourse we got to get into later, but you know.
No. Definitionally, because he's an angel. Angels don't have a gender.
Well, we actually, believe it or not, because I did just re-listen to our discussion last time, but we were gendering angels last time. And I don't know, maybe some angels.
Crazy.
We don't know these things.
Me might have something to say about that.
But
because I certainly do.
Oh my goodness gracious me. So that was EliteAri, that was Jockey Bacon, and it's Mia.
Hi. Okay.
The people know us by now.
You know, they're
They
actually
love
really
us.
hoping that we get on with it. Okay, so episode 14, everybody. How did everybody think about that one? It was a great
Absolutely
episode,
not. We will
wasn't
not
it?
be jumping
That's
into
So
not the
good.
way we do that.
Man, I love episode 14.
Don't
What a
listen.
recap in that
Isn't
one.
Don't listen to
Let's go
Jockey
to
Bacon.
15.
Man, should we recap our opinions for last review that we did for the first 10 minutes of this?
No,
one?
we all remember our opinions last time. What's
I don't
very
know. I
exciting
don't
is
know.
everybody's opinions.
Evangelion
for
didn't
this
think
time.
I remembered how the show went. So
I thought it was all
think
good.
Since we're garnering the same audience of idiots.
Do you want to watch another
we should
recap, like a
also
whole
explain
movie of
ourselves
Recap
again.
Bacon? Does that sound exciting to you?
Sorry?
Do you want to watch a whole movie of Recap next? Because
I would love to jump out of my window before doing that.
If the people
again.
did remember last time, they'd remember that Bacon did bring up already having watched that movie. So my goodness.
No,
gracious.
I didn't watch it. I watched 40 minutes of it and then stopped because I was like, wait, nothing's new, and I'm watching the same boring show again.
Apparently,
less
there are some
interesting.
shots in there that are new, Bacon. So you know, you're just lying.
Well, clearly I
to
wasn't
people.
paying attention. Maybe it's because I was
No, that
sleeping.
explains a lot of Bacon's Evangelion opinions. My goodness
Yeah.
gracious me.
It,
All right,
I mean,
hold. We're starting from the top, Jockey Bacon, and you're not going first. I want, and I thought about this a little bit. We'll all go over what we generally thought of these episodes, and I want it's Mia to go first.
Really? I thought you would have saved me for last because I'm the only.
No, because I
blind watching.
think yes, I think the blind should go first. Is
Okay.
the conclusion I've come to.
So, I mean, overall thoughts on this back half? I mean,
Yes.
I feel like there were times where I was thinking, oh, yeah, this is like the best mecha show I've ever watched. And there were times where I was
better
not
than Attack
thinking
on
that.
Titan? What is this?
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh, no, that is. Oh,
I
might have
think
to stop this
Bacon, this
recording.
is Mia's time to speak. Please refrain.
Oh,
You're
I
going
might-
third.
oh.
I'm very mixed on it. I think if I didn't know that there is still a movie to watch, I would have a more solidified opinion. I mean, I want to ask a question. When the original Eva run ended, was the plan to have a movie already? Like,
Absolutely not. It was not the plan,
That's
but it quickly
crazy.
became the plan because people were very, very, very mad.
yeah,
In fact,
okay.
there's famously a scene at End of Eva where a bunch of death threats appear on screen that were graffitied over Gynax's offices or something. So the people were not too happy about this ending originally.
Okay.
So
'Cause it-
that's
yeah.
definitely the
Also,
I
Attack
can
on
understand
Titan.
why. It felt like
case. True.
right before the last two episodes, they were answering questions and then they stopped.
It's definitely a
they
pivot.
stop.
There's a whole
Oh,
background to this.
yeah.
I will get into it after everybody does their overall thoughts, I think. So remind me to answer these questions, Mia. That's interesting. The thing is, I think most people who watch Ava in modernity or whatever, they would usually just watch End of Ava immediately afterwards. So it isn't that much of a. It's not really controversial nowadays, I don't think, because everybody just knows. Like every
Yeah.
reactor that watches it knows episode 26 isn't actually the ending, guys. We got the great End of Ava to watch. So it's very interesting. And the way our discussion is structured here will also come to some. We'll have some interesting moments, I think, because of how we've done it. Because we have not seen End of Ava by now. Obviously, everybody knows they read the title. We're doing 14 through 26 here. I'm not a bad host for not saying that in the introduction. But is that all you have for overall, Mia? Do we want to go to EliteAri, or do you have something else?
Yeah, I guess I could land on either side of these feelings. I think by the end of this, really depends on how the discussion goes.
We're in a similar position to last time, or are we? Because EliteAri could join the dark side and not stand up for the great Evangelion here. We never know. I shouldn't assume these things. EliteAri has betrayed me many times in the past before. But go ahead, EliteAri. What do you think? Hold on, EliteAri thinks it's confusing,
Oh my god.
but he likes the directing. Go ahead.
Okay, just to say this is my second time through, like I said last time. I think it very much adds, or it's much better to watch something a second time, especially Evangelion, when I knew that the ending wasn't going to answer questions and stuff. Like, if you know how it ends, I guess, you kind of expect it a bit more, and it's like, oh, I know what to pay attention to this time around or whatever. But in terms of overall thoughts, I think, like, this stuff, like in this latter half, it has some of the best stuff I've ever seen. Like just in general, and I have like a list of stuff, but each of them have like, I can talk about them. We'll talk about them later. Like I have a lot of stuff I want to say for each of these, but at a high level, the class rep storyline, where she has a crush on Toji. Oh my goodness, it's so good. The whole
that's a very EliteAri coded thing to like.
It's so good. Oh my goodness. The whole confrontation with Toji being inside the Evangelion angel thing, and then that like the ramifications on like Shinji psychology and Gendo and all of that is really, really good. The episode 21 backstory stuff is really, really good. And also just like in terms of actual story, the final scene of Shinji's realization is, oh my goodness, it's so good, and I cried so much watching it. Which is crazy because the first time through, I don't think it like affected me at all, but oh my god, it got me so much this time. And even just like, I don't know, some random small things. Like, for instance, when the angel has that beam that it's shooting out and it's playing the song Hallelujah, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool, and oh my god, it's amazing.
It's the coolest.
Yeah, there's like random small things like that that happen every now and then. I'm like, this show is like it's like the best thing that's ever been made. Like sometimes I'll watch stuff like that. So it's really, 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 really good. And I am curious, because I don't remember End of Ava that much beyond liking the visuals of it. But I'm curious how it could even be possible that Ava, like that movie could top the ending of this. Or if it'll just be like the same but like worse. I actually don't remember enough about the movie to have any idea, but I'm curious. But then, so that's
what we've learned is if there's a controversy in an ending, EliteAri is there to love it. Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, and Neon Genesis Evangelion, the TV series. What a fella this EliteAri is.
Yes. However, my goodness, this show has some pretty bad stuff. Oh my god. Basically, whenever there is a symbolic monologue where the character is talking to themselves, whether it be like Rei or Shinji, or basically the entirety of those last two episodes, oh my god, I do not like that at all. It's like the most boring, like I'm confused, I have no idea what's happening, or it's like something so simple that they're just doing it so much over and over again. I'm like, oh my god, I don't like any of this. So those last two episodes, I was like, I don't like this at all. But then the final scene happens, and I'm like, this is amazing, I can't believe it. So yeah. And then just separately, just a few other things I don't like. I don't think I relate to Shinji or Asuka at all, and I don't really like their characters that much. And I don't connect to any of the like parent stuff, like any of the like Misato and her dad, or like Shinji and his parents, and Asuka and her mom. I don't connect to like any of that. So none of that really lands at all either. So I don't know. It's like mixed, but it's like, you know, I think there's some stuff that is amazing in this, but there's also a lot of stuff that I'm incredibly bored by and I don't like. So yeah.
My goodness gracious me. Jockey Bacon, do you want to cap us off here?
I will gladly do so. Yeah, I think it's going to be more of the same what everybody said. This chunk of episodes was better and worse than the previous one. So just more polarized. Because I thought, like, episode 19, I was pretty engaged on that whole, like, that was the best angel fight, for sure. And then every angel fight, the one where Shinji had to get back. Because I was like, oh, there's actually, like... But then every angel fight after that just felt really boring. And then I was just like, yeah, anyway. Just kind of a bit like, there's a lot of tell. And I'm not going to be one of those people that you have to abide by writing rules. But oh boy.
It's like Hunter x Hunter, right?
No, Hunter x Hunter was much worse, actually, because it was 144 episodes of it, 48 episodes of it, not 26. Yeah, I mean, I've not watched the recent JJK episode, but that also seems like a nightmare. sometimes I do wonder.
I think it's the
maybe
one
should be
before the
reading
most
a
recent
book
one, actually.
instead of watching an anime. But anyway, yeah, I do also think it's interesting. Like there are philosophical musings which are kind of interesting at the end there. But then it's look, I like we were talking about Orb and 100 meters, and I don't know how to say the name, Uto. I think that's how you say the name. They have a much more, at least what they're interested in and how they present what they're philosophically interested in is much more interesting to me than um, anything Ava's done. But
I can't
yeah,
believe
I
Vinland
don't
Saga
know.
wasn't your first place to go for philosophical musing.
No, just because Vinland Saga aesthetically isn't similar in the same way as Orb and Evangelion are.
Okay.
So, yeah. Vinland Saga tends to be a bit more grounded.
True.
And less therapeutic. Anyway, overall I would say I was glad actually was like, oh, it's not a complete a gigantic task pressing next episode. But I would say like the after episode 20 things, I was like, oh, this is interesting. And they had some backstory and stuff, but it just wasn't interwoven, I don't think, that well into the plot. And so like it then became a bit more like transparent in how I think flawed the structure of the show is in the last, I'd say probably 6 episodes. Like it was building very nicely and very coherently towards a breaking point, and then it broke, and then it didn't really regather its steps, I think. But I would say I definitely did enjoy it more than when I first watched it. So there we go. I'll be positive there.
Wow. Unbelievable. Now, as I said last time, this is like my 7th or 8th time through or something crazy. So again, my opinions didn't change at all. It's still my favorite show. Can you believe it? And I like basically every single bit of it. I will say that this didn't happen last time, but there was one scene that I didn't remember at all. And I think it was when, and it's a completely nonsensical, boring, nothing scene, but there's a scene where like the 3 troops, the guys on the computers, and the girl, one of them's a girl, and they were like, oh, our last place got destroyed, so this is a new one. I didn't remember that scene, so that was my biggest takeaway. That is now a scene that I remember, so everybody's very proud of me for that. I couldn't believe I've forgotten an Evangelion scene, but I had. So yeah, my opinions are exactly the same. Now, quickly to return to, because I think after we do this, I want to explain sort of, there's some lore about Ava or the production or whatever towards the end, and that leads into End of Ava. So I'll explain that because I said I'd get back to it for Mia. And then I think it would be interesting to go into EliteAri specifics. And then we can go into everybody else. And then we'll probably avoid going episode by episode. Everybody's very excited about that. So famously, people say that Ava like ran out of budget, and that's why the last 2 episodes are the way they are, where it's a lot of repeating animation, especially in 25. Not really in 26, but it's all like minimal. I don't even know if minimalist is the right word, but it's like very sketchy and painting like, and obviously it's very cool aesthetically, but people didn't always think that. If you watch the previews starting from like 23, they're all like unfinished previews where it's like just one of them's literally just a storyboard shot with text, and like the camera scrolls down it, where it's like it has like pull here and Asuka will appear here. And then for the preview for episode 25 is a fight that seems to depict Asuka fighting a bunch of Evangelion units, which is not in the TV show at all. And it might be in a movie we're supposed to watch next. And the episode preview says the next episode, episode 25, is going to be called Air, which is not what episode 25 is called in the series. But it is what the first part of the movie is going to be called in the next one. So basically, what is in End of Ava was probably originally supposed to vaguely be episode 25 and 26, but then they sort of pivoted. Maybe people used to get mad at you for saying that it was for budget, and it was actually because of time, and there's like a bunch of like legends about, man, Anno just got so depressed, he just became a ball in the office or something, and it didn't make anything until the last moment, and that's why the last 2 episodes are like that or whatever. So there's a lot of lore and memes around this. I don't know how much of any of it is true. But you can definitely tell from the previews that things weren't as finished as they had been before. And then you can tell that, like, oh, the things that are previewed aren't actually in the next episodes. So eventually, when the ending got backlash, they sort of started production on End of Eva to sort of clarify what literally happens in the ending, because in those last 2 episodes, there are like shots of things that seem to actually be happening in the world Ava exists in. Like there's a shot of Ritsuko shot in like a pool of LCL. There's Misato has seemingly been shot and she's like bleeding out on the ground. And I think there's another shot of Rei doing something. These are all things that seem to be literally happening versus what's happening in like Shinji's mind and his catharsis at the end. And these things will be further explored in the movie. So there's definitely, again, a difference between like people who watched at the time and were very mad because they wanted a lot of plot resolution and character resolution, and we sort of just focus on the psyche of the characters and then mostly of Shinji, versus the what I imagine, because Mia hasn't seen it, a very what do you call it? Literal, not literal, I guess, but a very plot and character focused spectacle movie with said promised action scenes that we will hopefully be watching next week. So is that sort of what you want to clarify, Mia, or does that explain some things? Or
Yeah, that explains literally everything. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, I have a
That makes a
question.
So
lot of
that's
sense.
like the lore stuff. Go ahead, EliteAri.
Does the, because I really don't remember anything about this movie. Is it a replacement for the ending, or is it just like
This is another thing
okay,
that's kind of interpretive. People say that like they like fans have like pinpointed that like there's a moment where Shinji is like sitting down and he's clearly thinking about things in End of Eva, and people say like, is this the moment where everything that happens in the last 2 episodes take place in Shinji's head? I don't think that's true. I think it's interpretive though. The thematic resolution is also kind of interpretive. I think a lot of people think the thematic resolution ends up being the same in basically all of Ava's endings, though they take very different approaches. So whether or not you think it's a replacement or a different ending or a retcon or any of these things is kind of up to you, because it's not as literal. Though I can very much imagine this being something EliteAri thinks has a definitive answer and is definitive about it. I don't know. I'm getting EliteAri vibes right now. We will have to see.
Does Anno clarify anything? Because he does clarify some things, but then when he clarifies it, people say, "Oh, he's just joking. That's not really it." So I feel like the whole
I don't
is not
think so.
Nothing's canonical.
I think Anno, whenever he talks about it, his big thing is like the thematic message. So he's just like, oh, if people were mad at me, that means they didn't understand the message of we should all be good to each other, or whatever he believes the thematic message of Ava is. So he's like, well, I'll just make it again. And then obviously the rebuild films, we'll just make it again. And interestingly, between our finishing our last discussion and this discussion, they have announced a new Evangelion short that's going to be like 13 minutes long or something, starring Asuka. So that's news. So maybe we're doing it again, but maybe not. But yeah, so it's interpretive. There's definitely people who like prefer most certain endings. I think people just mostly like End of Ava a lot, so they usually say that's like their preferred one if they're going to choose. But it'll be up to you, EliteAri, I think. So did that answer that question? I don't even know.
Thank you.
Sometimes I go on tangents. Okay. EliteAri, do you want to go? You had a list that seemed intriguing, but I forgot the specifics of that I wanted to pivot to. Do you remember what that was?
Well, I do. I mean, it's just my list of my overall favorite stuff, so I don't know what we can talk about. I think one potential thing. I have a thing. Why don't we just talk about the production of this in terms of like what do we all think of visually? Because obviously, last time I said that like I really like Evangelion visually more so than even the story. This time I think I also like the visuals are really, really good still. It's still cool directing. I think like what this like part does a lot is or it does it like in some episodes a lot, especially the last episode, is the cutting between like the characters then like text on screen that is kind of like the characters are aware of, but we're like also meant to read. And I like that all kind of, the presentation of that is all really cool. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I love it. So I'll let everybody else answer.
I pretty much agree with Ari's take. Yeah, I think like production wise, it clearly starts to hit some problems at the end, but still any new visual was done really well. So I didn't have really many complaints, and I actually liked in some cases the reuse of animation, because I think they at least do it in a clever way. Especially with the like the kind of psychoanalysis stuff at the end. I kind of really loved how they were going back to old scenes and kind of inserting dialogue in there that didn't
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
happen. And it's a clever way to make a reuse of animation assets. I really liked that.
There's there's a specific example with Shinji where they basically say like in episode 1 I was going to tell him that I hated him is like Shinji's like mindset. And it's interesting because you can like interpret, because you see the scene again and it's like him popping up and saying like I was gonna tell him I hated him or whatever. And
Yeah.
I think that's a really interesting little thing, because it's like, is Shinji just saying that now because he's mad at his dad? Did he actually believe that? Probably. And then was it just that he didn't have the guts to say it, which is almost certainly true at the beginning and stuff like that. So it's like it's also like a clarification, but it's not, because you are left to wonder whether or not he was actually going to do that, or that's something he's just saying he was going to do now to like save face. And like all of that also says something about like Shinji's like underlying psychology or whatever. So there's other examples like that too. I think Asuka has a few where she like goes back to scenes and says like, "This is what I wanted."
Yeah.
Oh, I think there's like a famous Asuka one where it's like, "Oh, I just wanted you to hold me" or whatever, and it's basically like after they kiss, like she runs away to like spit out, like to gargle and spit water out to like get Shinji's disgusting kiss off of her. But it's clear that like she wanted him to like come after her, and that's like it's played over that scene where it's like she like her bitchy sort of tsundere-ness is like definitely just a front, at least there, where she wants Shinji to like, even though she like insults him repeatedly, she wants him to like walk through them and somehow figure out what she wants, when Shinji's probably not the man for that job. But yeah, I do really like those little details too. But yeah, directing.
I
Bacon,
think I would
do
like
you have
those
any
details too if I had any
care
like
about
for
the
most of the characters, which is just how the thing is, right? Like it's to care about recontextualization or additional characterization. Lots of the time, you need like a base level of just interest,
care?
care, yeah. And so I'm sitting there, I'm just like watching, I'm just like, okay. But then you talk about it like that, I'm just like, I could see how that's cool, but that just sounds even more infuriating anyway. But yeah, aesthetically speaking, this is one of those things where I'm like, I do think it's cool. I do think it got samey. There was a couple points where I was quite, I don't know, I was kind of bored of the environment. But I do wonder if like my interest or like I do like the 90s aesthetic, but that's also probably because I've not watched enough 90s things to get like a good sway of how good Ava is relative to its aesthetic peers at the time. So like I think something that like aesthetically that I found quite boring at the end was the music. There was some music introductions which was cool, but that was when they had new music. But there was consistent tracks which they, use again and again and again. And I
This is something you complained about last time too.
Yeah, I know. It was worse this time because they kept on using them. And it's not like I understand you can be economical, but I just think that's also like, I don't know, a bit bland in directing. Like there are some things which I think, oh, that's interestingly directed and smart and economical. I can appreciate like if they had limited resources, whatever that might be, their ways of kind of compensating and still getting out a semblance of an ending. That's fair play on them. That's impressive, but also in other ways being so economical that I like music can dictate a scene. So even if the scene is different, like I don't know. There's just some things where I'm just like, man, I just really wish they changed the music or something. Or just the whole idea of the scene. I was particularly when Rey killed herself, which I did think was cool.
Really?
But before that, I was just really quite bored. But that's probably because I didn't really care about Asuka. And I was like, because her mech wasn't working, whatever. But it was just like felt very samey. And then it was just like, oh, there's an alien. Oh, it doesn't go wrong. Oh, eject the plug, guys. Turn the power off. Wait, the power doesn't turn off. And I'm just like, well, I've seen this 7 times already in the last 26 episodes. So there's just things which I found quite bland. on top of already not
There's
being
a-
interested. So that's why I
There's
liked
one thing
episode 19 so much, because it was like, oh, this is quite interesting, because like you're seeing parts of the Aves get cut off that had never been cut off before, and that's why the very thing was cool, because I was like, oh, she's got a big explosion self-destruct thing. And I'm like, that's nice, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah.
There was one thing I was watching, and I was curious whether or not you specifically would like it, and that was when they used the classical music in 23 and 24. So, did you like it? Because it was a
Oh
change
yeah.
up in the music.
I like that. That was a shift up in the music. All I could think about was actually, this is a very side tangent, but since I think Ari's definitely watched the media wrap up,
Mhm.
one of my mates, Lars, he said anime, whenever it uses it, and this is in context of Hunter x Hunter, whenever it
Oh.
uses classical music, it's cringe and it's trying too hard to be art, which is not. But since then, I don't think he agrees with that point anymore, because he has watched Ava after that. So I was trying to remember when I was thinking of that. It's like, did Lars now think that you can use? It was a really dumb take. Anyway, but
Wait, does he like Ava?
But
I could imagine him liking Ava.
he appreciates Ava, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if he likes it.
Ain't that just it?
But yeah.
Okay, interesting. I don't know
So
why
that's
I thought
all
about
I was
Blake when
thinking
thought
of.
about that, but I did.
It's like,
The
hallelujah.
Yeah, and then there's that one, because that's when Asuka's getting mind raped, and then there's the Karu stuff, which is also pretty cool, but it's a different song. I know classical music, guys, because he starts humming it. Remember when he gets introduced? Anyway, and then he fucking died. The Oh, are you humming EliteAri? Oh wait, I remember another thing I wanted to say quickly. Oh, two things. There's also a Bacon. Do you know if you watch the director's cut versions of the episodes?
I don't think I did. No.
Okay, so were all the episodes about the same length for you?
Yeah.
It probably doesn't matter too much, but the version on Netflix is the director's cut one. And the lore behind the director's cut is, I believe, is that it came out right before End of Ava, which is interesting because some of the imagery is changed to match the imagery that's going to be in End of Ava. I know the biggest example is when it's at the end of 23, I think, where they go down and they see the Ava graveyard, basically.
Yeah.
That scene is like very different visually depending on which version you're watching.
Interesting.
Because it looks like how it's going to look in End of Ava, how Terminal Dogma looks in End of Ava versus how it looks in the original show, which is very different. There's a lot more dead Avas in the director's cut, and it's in like a different shape. The other biggest one is
the
at
one
the
that I was
beginning
watching.
of
There was a ton of dead Avas, but they all kind of look roughly the same.
Yeah, because I think they are
all have,
also
like, the
sort of
spine and
painted
stuff,
like
right?
Unit 0 in your version. If you
Jesus.
did
I just
watch
remember
the
like
director's cut.
skeletons and stuff.
Yes, it's in the director's cut versions. It's all skeletons on like a orange
Yeah.
thing.
Okay, I think I watched maybe I did watch the director's cut. Well, mine was
this
very
is an
similar
easier
length,
one.
though, so.
To find out. In the flashback episode, did it start on like cam footage where there's like two workers talking about Misato's dad, and then it like blows up? Do you remember this scene?
Is this 21?
Yes.
No, it starts with Kaji trying to leave a message on the phone.
Interesting. Okay.
Whoa, that's
So
crazy.
yeah, I think that is different.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that is
because
crazy.
that is added. And
What,
also,
that
like,
scene is
you
added?
hear
The flashback?
Yes, that scene is added in director's
Whoa,
cut.
that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
like the
big
coolest
scene.
scene. Oh my god, yeah. Wow.
It's
Oh, I'm
also
missing out
because
now.
when Adam wakes up or whatever, like it sounds like Shinji's. It sounds like Unit 1 when it's going berserk. It like has the same like grumble sound, which is another thing that like will happen in End of Ava quite a lot. There's also like an image I think you see of it. Oh, also there's like in the scene where Ray is dying. There's like you hear the Ray giggling, which is a big sound effect from the End of Ava, which I think is added in there too. So it's like I think when the Rays all get or when Ritsuko kills them all, there's also the giggling. So I think that is also new. So there's a few little new things where it's like, clearly they must have re-released it or re-aired on TV or something, or a DVD came out or something right before Ava. Also, I think some of these editions are in Death and Rebirth, which is the recap movie that Bacon was talking about before, that I have never actually sat down and watched. I might watch it while I watch End of Ava just to say I've seen it this time, but nobody else has to because it is just recap again. But there are some differences. The only other thing I wanted to say is because the only difference between the Netflix versions is Well, there is more differences in End of Eva, but that's particularly with the subtitling, where they change some lines. But we can talk about that later. That doesn't matter too much. Besides that, everything is generally the same, except obviously the ED song, which is different. There's also one part at the end of one of the episodes where Fly Me to the Moon plays instrumentally in the background. Oh, it's when Misato hears Kaji's like voice note for the first time at the end of that episode. Like Fly Me to the Moon instrumentally plays throughout that whole scene. It's like sad and stuff. I did go and check on the Netflix version. There's just no music in the background of that scene. So that's the only like literal like show difference, I think. These are all just things I noted down that I remembered because we were talking about production stuff. But what were we talking about before that?
We're going through Ari's list.
Ari asked about production, right?
Yeah, that's all I was. Yeah, yeah, cool stuff. You know, well, I guess when I think of like even just like directing stuff, like stuff that stands out to me are things like the like the text I said, but also things like the SEAL members. I don't know if it's how you say it, but the like oversight
Sele?
council or whatever, Sele. Yeah, when they appear as like obelisk things or whatever, I'm like, that's like super cool. What a cool idea. Or like when you see
that's
the
an End of Eva thing.
Oh, it is. Wait, does that mean it's new in this director's? Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting.
Yes, because there's a scene where Karu is talking to them, and I think that's a new scene too.
Whoa. Okay, that's really interesting.
Okay, it seems like every scene that almost gives answers to something is new.
Is an End of Eva thing?
That's very funny.
Absolutely.
Wow.
But yeah.
Okay. Anyway, cool. Yeah, you know, we love visuals. Visuals are cool.
Just before we keep going, I think, and actually a different thing to pivot, because EliteAri's got his things written down. We don't have to go there right away. I think quizzing about the confusing nature of it might actually be interesting. So I don't know if we could do this effectively without preparation, but I would like Mia to like explain what was happening, and I think that would be a funny exercise.
Okay.
Go ahead. And I think it would be funny if EliteAri tries to say if it's right or wrong.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah, we can try.
Ari,
I'll
help you in
probably
this
interrupt because
mess.
I can't help myself.
Okay.
But yeah.
No.
Before we move on for the obelisk thing, was there an in-story explanation for why they suddenly started doing obelisks instead of whatever they were doing before?
And why they can appear anywhere? Not really.
I had an assumption. I don't know if it was like based on the story, but I assumed it was because what was it? Something happened where I think they lost their trust in Nerve, and they like started appearing as the obelisk.
That was my feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just meant like literally how are they doing it? I don't know, but that is why they like.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. You want to go?
Okay. I mean, so
I can ask some pointed questions.
Is it my take on what I think the lore is, like what's just going on in general?
Well, kind of. The lore is different to the show lore because there is like other lore that I don't even know anything about really. I kind of want to ask some pointed questions, but I kind of just want to see where the fuck you go. So I'll ask follow-up questions.
Okay. Well, I guess the place I would want to start is that I feel so stupid in the things that I was piecing together literally immediately after our last discussion when I first started rewatching. Well, not rewatching, sorry. When I started continuing my watch through. Like, the fact that they're called Evas and you have Adam and Eve. I feel so stupid that I didn't think about that. Episode 16, I was writing notes and I literally wrote this. I wrote, are the Evas created from pieces of Adam? Are they like Eve? And I wrote that without even thinking about Eva. And then I wrote LOL right next to it because I realized, oh my God, it's the most obvious thing ever. And like the plug is filled with liquid because it's literally the goddamn womb, and they have the umbilical cords. It's crazy.
Yes,
how did I not think about this?
Called the umbilical cord in episode 1, which is a cute little thingy.
I just couldn't believe that. So the fact that Evas are born from Adam, I think I caught on to pretty quick. Go ahead. Yeah. Well, relatively quick.
Well, the womb thing, the extension cord, and what's in each Eva unit?
What?
I don't know, man. What's
the souls of somebody, of Shinji's mother and Asuka's mother?
Yes, definitely.
So it is literally they're in their mother's wombs as they're protecting them from angels or Adam or men.
That's an yeah. Wow. God.
So that's one of
Yes,
the
that
biggest
makes
things is
total
like
sense.
last time we didn't know, like, or you didn't know that, I don't know, maybe everybody else didn't know that, the Avas are all possessed by their mothers, and that's how they choose
Wait
the
a minute.
pilots, right? And that's why nobody has a mother.
I didn't even
Right,
pick that up
that
this
does
time.
make sense.
I didn't
think
realize
that's what
that
happened.
Asuka's mother was in it as well.
Yeah.
I knew that Shinji's
Well,
mom was.
yes, this is
but
clarified a little bit later, but you can pick it up from the thing.
I just thought it was funny when
'cause-
she killed herself.
True, very
Yeah,
funny.
man.
Like the door
The,
opens and she's just hanging from the ceiling. I actually laughed. I
My
was like,
goodness.
I don't know. That was it got me. A
well,
chuckle.
there's the hint is that obviously Yui disappears in Unit 1 or whatever, and it's like they call it a contact experiment, and they say that Asuka's mum lost her mind in a contact experiment with Unit 2. So it's like clearly like their souls went into the AV units. Now, a bigger mystery that's actually never clarified, I'm pretty sure, is who's in Unit 0. And I think it's
might
Ray
take-
1.
Well, yeah, that's what I was
Go
going to
ahead.
say, because they go off on how Rey is completely artificial. She essentially is an Eva. So I think
she's
it's
born from.
that's why she can easily assimilate with any unit, because she is just
Well, she kinda
inherently.
can't.
No, she was able to. She was like passing tests with Unit 1 quite
Yeah,
well.
but they
right?
always would reject her when she like even her Ava would like reject her, and I think
I guess
part of
that
is,
it's
like,
more about because of their preference for the person that they, the motherhood connection there. So that does
Well,
make
yes.
sense.
Hmm.
But I think it's
But it's
implied
also-
that she doesn't really need some, like she is the soul that's connected to it. I don't know, because she is the what's it called? The plugs that they,
the dummy plugs.
what are they called? The dummy plugs. Thank you. Yeah, they're just rays.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
true. But they're rays without souls is kind of the important part.
And I think that's why it's a prototype, right? Because they probably realize in the prototyping process that they need some kind of soul, and that's why Eva 1 is the first one
Kind of, yeah. The
post prototype. This is my take.
there
This is
will
my
be
take.
more. Yes, there will be more dummy plugs in End of Ava, so I will refrain from doing
I
that.
feel like I'm watching it
Um,
already.
True. The there's the bigger thing with the lore stuff is that the reason why the Avas kind of reject Rey is because Rey is born from Lilith. Because well, first of all, they call it Adam, and then Karu realizes
but
that it's actually
nah.
Lilith. So the
Which
thing
is
in the
crazy,
basement,
They were
People are
calling
really
it Lilin, or what they?
No, they
Is there
call
a difference between
humanity
Lilin
Lilith.
and Lilith? Is there a difference between those? 'Cause
Lilith
it's called-
is humanity.
humanity.
Yes. Okay.
But
I'm
Karu
following.
was
I'm
always like,
following.
yes, Karu was always like, the Lilim think this, and it's like, oh, why is he talking about humanity? Like he's not a human. My goodness, where could this be going? But
Oh.
oh, go ahead. Maybe you're gonna say what I was going to clarify.
Well, I know, because now I'm thinking, because the Adam, quote unquote Adam below Nerve is
In
not
Terminal
Adam,
Dogma,
it's
yeah.
Lilith. That would
Yes.
mean if they are from Lilith, they are not actually humanity. Hold on. Okay, no, I
kind of.
I don't want to think about this anymore.
By the way,
Well, the thing is-
Arno said that all the Christian imagery is pointless. But then
I hate,
everybody
I
says
hate
that.
guy.
But then everybody then says, "Oh, he was lying." So this is why I was
Well-
like, this is why I was like kind of being silent in the first one, because you were trying to piece it together, and I was like, well, it doesn't really matter because Arno doesn't even know.
Well, it doesn't
wants
really
to
matter
say if
concerning
anything works.
Christianity. Like it means whatever he wants it to mean in the story. They just
But
kind of
then
have those
there's no
names.
point like speculating about this Lilith, because I mean, if you know anything, like,
Well, yeah, it makes sense in the like lore. I don't know how it relates to the Bible, but it for Ava independently, it sort of all fits.
I mean, well, like
The,
Smir was making a comment
I
about
actually-
how Eve came
yeah.
out of Adam, which is like the Christian
Well,
story,
yeah.
which you know,
Well, they
like,
do
Eve was
kind of talk
made
about that in
using
the next
a
one.
rib of Adam, but then also
Yeah.
Lilith is the second supposed wife of Adam, which is not biblical, but it is related to Kabbalah, I think, which is also in, you know, is the imagery on top of and below him, in like the, what is it, the red room where the desk is of Gendo is and stuff. Like there's like all these
Interesting, okay.
markings and stuff like that. You know, but it's also like what. Anyway, you can read into it if you want.
I think,
lots
yeah.
of people have. I was, when I first watched it, I went on a bit of a spree, but then it was like also a bit. I don't know. Anyway, I think
Yeah.
people were coping a little
the-
bit, but
Lilith stuff is definitely what I have the most, not confusion about, the most like curiosity about, because I feel like it feels like that was the last plot answer we got, and then it went
Yeah.
into the psychoanalysis
The
of Shinji
existential-
and everyone else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the most confusing part, because people talk about Ava like it's very confusing. I think it really isn't until the Karu episode where he is using a lot of
Yes.
pronouns, and it's like, okay, everybody, let's calm down a little bit here. But just quickly, so when they go down and they see Lilith, like who they think is Adam a little bit. Well, some people do. Gendo doesn't because Adam's on Gendo's hand, but that's a whole different thing. That's also the director's cut edition, but we'll see that in the movie.
What?
Oh my god.
I didn't get the Adam on his hand.
Once again, anything that seemingly gives an answer is from director's cut. That is insane.
Yeah. So right when you first see Lilith, she's got the lance through her, right? And
Yes.
coming off her leg seems to be like people, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember this? So those are Rey, right? That's where Rey comes from. So Rey is
Oh.
born from Lilith, not Adam, which the
Yeah.
Avas are born from. So is that why they're rejecting the Rey too? Is like a thing because she isn't from Adam. But also, actually, I think that's an end of Ava, so I won't say what I was about to say. But the other thing about Rey is that, like, when do you realize, like, going through that she is a clone? Because there are a lot of hints before it's, like, properly revealed. And then when do you realize she's a clone of Yui? Is also, like, an interesting thing. So
I frankly didn't realize the clone of Yui one. Did not realize that until they pretty much explicitly said,
They
"Oh,
have the
you
same
look like
voice?
her." Yeah.
yeah.
I think it was Ritsuka's mom or something said it.
Yeah.
Did you not consider that Adam actually might not be the Adam you were thinking of, but is actually thinking of Jesus? Because Jesus was known as the Adam as well in the Bible, and Jesus was the one who was actually stabbed with the spear of Longinus to make sure that he was
That's
dead
true.
on the cross there.
It was
So then,
literally
but if that's
crucified, yeah.
actually Lilith there instead, that Lilith could be Mary Magdalene. Because as everybody's read the Da Vinci Code, they actually had a secret affair. So,
Whoa.
as far as I know, I think that none of it makes any sense.
I like how you refer to the Da Vinci Code as if it's like the canon sequel to the
Oh, it is,
Bible that
mate.
was written.
Well,
No, I mean,
okay,
it might as well be.
Look,
Just
the
that there's
Spirit of
plot
Longinus is
reveals
just
for the
that.
Bible later
The Spirit of
on.
Longinus is just that from like the Catholic tradition, but they just were conspiratorial.
Well, when
and
they were
kept
writing
their
the Bible,
fanfics
they ran out of
1,000 years ago.
time, and they planned to write Da Vinci Code later to correct
that
they
was
ran
the
out of
sequel.
time.
That
Yeah.
was their rebuild that they didn't manage to finish.
True.
So true.
The let's not insult Catholicism. EliteAri is right there, Jockey Bacon. So show
True.
some
He's
freaking
Jewish.
respect for our.
No, why am I Jewish?
True.
I'm the biggest atheist of us all, I
my-
guarantee you.
Oh
No,
my
he's
goodness.
Jewish.
Like, what a
True.
principled atheist EliteAri is.
But anyway,
Everybody knows that
sorry.
Armenians are Jewish. Come on.
True.
I caught on to the fact that Rey was a clone. I feel like I'm just so used to how clones are in anime.
Like
that,
her personality wise,
yeah, it was just like, okay, so she's not like real.
No,
that was pretty like.
but like Ava's so subversive and so unique and so big brained.
Well, because
There's no way you could have ever got that.
It
you
started
know.
a lot of it. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, you can also see it in like the first episode if you're looking for it. But and that also like explains why Gendo likes Rey so much, right?
Because he made her, and
Mrs. Yui.
it looks like yeah.
And it seems like, because in that director's cut additional scene where he's talking to his Adam hand and he's talking to Unit 1, and he's like saying, like, it seems to be Gendo's entire motivation is something to do with Yui that will be expanded upon in our upcoming movie. So
I'm actually incredibly interested in Gendo because of the flashback with that professor guy. I forget his name. They called him like Sensei. Yeah, I'm sure. So that whole thing was awesome. That may have been my favorite part of these episodes. I really loved how they were like talking about like this student Ikari who was like super smart, and they want him to meet Ikari, and then you find it's Yui instead of Gendo, and Gendo's kind of like
she took his name.
Gendo's kind of a fraud. Like Yui is actually like
Yui was working.
She was
with
the one who's kind of behind all of it. It's crazy. That was so cool. I really like that Yui, and I'm very upset that there is no more Yui. But that does make me very interested to see.
Oh, is there no more Yui?
To see what even happens with Gendo now, because now I don't really have a good gauge on how much he actually knows what he's doing or not. Because before,
Yeah.
I feel like he has this air about him where you think he knows everything that's going on and he's like fully prepared for everything. And in many ways, he does seem to know like when things are going to happen and what it means. But he I don't know, that kind of really changed my perspective on him as this like kind of brilliant person with a very defined plan.
Yeah. There are a lot of really interesting Gendo characterization bits in there where it's like he is sleeping with Ritsuko's mother and Ritsuko, which is interesting.
Wait, and okay, that's actually, I thought she was just kind of Ritsuko. Not, I obviously he was sleeping with the mom, but I thought Ritsuko was just kind of like pining over him. I didn't realize they actually
No,
had
it's very
gone that
go back
far.
from the beginning, it's very obvious that they're sleeping together. Like
Shit.
there's a moment where in like episode 4 or something where Ritsuko comes over to Misato's for dinner or something, and Misato says, "Shinji, you're so bad when it comes to like showing emotions or something," and Ritsuko like twirls her hair and says, "Just like his father," or something like that. And it's
Yeah,
like,
because she has a
there's a bunch
thing
of,
for him.
well, no, well, later she says, "You always use my body" or whatever and stuff. So they're definitely
Ah, yeah, maybe I
sleeping
should have
together.
caught that. Maybe I should have
Yeah,
caught that.
because and there's also one like they're alone when they're talking about, it's like when Unit Zero's like still all fucked up from the attack it tried to do on Gendo before, which is also interesting in retrospect because it's like Ray 1 seemingly attacking Gendo. And obviously Yui seems to try and attack Gendo a bunch of times too to protect Shinji. So everybody seems to be mad at Gendo now rather than when they used to like be on his side, implying that maybe Gendo is not a nice boy. But you know, that's all that's up for speculation. You know, did Gendo do anything wrong? We'll never know. And there was other pieces. Oh, Gendo's like getting into fights with like people all the time and getting arrested and stuff. So it's like there's a bunch of little pieces of Gendo characterization that are cool in that flashback. It's funny because Bacon brought up Jesus just before. I know a lot of people think of like Yui as sort of the Jesus figure. Actually, that's probably due to a piece of imagery in End of Ava, so I probably shouldn't have said that. But
You don't even
there's like
have
a
to.
bunch of stuff there. Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
There's in the like she says something that people quote all the time. I think in the scene where she's like where Shinji wants to be breastfed. That's something to that effect. But yeah, I like that flashback episode is like really really great. I think it's definitely one of my favorite episodes, and I think both Mia and Ari had said that, so that's good. But I think we were explaining the plot, Mia. where else do we go here?
I'm trying. So,
How quickly did you realize Karu was obviously the last angel?
man, that one I did not catch on too quickly.
Really interesting.
I mean, I knew he was clearly like he was clearly not
fishy?
he was clearly fishy. He was not the what was it, like fifth child, or was he fourth?
Fifth, I think, yeah.
Fifth, yeah. He clearly was not just fifth child. He had something going on. I definitely thought he was sent to sabotage the operation to some extent. That clearly, but him being the actual angel. Actually, well, when he talked to Ray and he was saying, "Oh yeah, we're the same," that was pretty clear too. But I didn't consider Ray an angel.
Yeah, because he at that point thinks that she is born of Adam because he thinks the thing in the basement is Adam, which the angels are born of Adam. So, but he's wrong about that. But also there is a very weird moment that I don't entirely know how to take where Ray like appears at the end of that episode and she's like hovering and it's like, oh, somebody as strong as Karu with as an equal in AT field has like arrived. And they can't see it, and they like the nerve people don't know that it's Ray.
It's her.
Which is interesting because Ray's never done that before. But in episode 1, if you remember, there is an odd shot where Shinji like looks over his shoulder quickly, sees a flash of Ray like floating, and then she like disappears. So I think that's supposed to be sort of like that. But I don't think Ray 2 was ever conscious of that. But yeah, there's 3 Rays. I don't know if we figured that out, but one of the episodes is called Ray 3 when the 3rd Ray shows up. So there's been 3 of them so far.
Right, yeah, and there were many more.
There were, but not anymore.
Well, I guess that the personality of her is kind of injected into them at the point where they actually are meant to act as Rey. So they're
Well, no,
kind
I
of
think
just like
her personality
husked.
is just like a blank personality,
Well, yeah, but I
right?
mean, what I'm saying is like the ones that were like in the not necessarily tube, they were in like the tank or whatever
Yeah, the
that Ritsuko
tool, yeah.
destroyed. I don't think that they are like conscious and
No,
they
no, not at
have
all.
Rey's personality, the little personality that exists of Rey. But what Rey says at the end, right? She has, through connections to people, she has kind of gained
Yeah.
some sort of personality, and I think that part of her is not in them, and
No,
it's
no,
put
no.
into her when when they need to bring out a new Rey. Basically, it seems that
Well,
that memory
I
and
think
connection is put into her.
I think it just means that each Rey is not the same, right? Because Rey 1 was like a little petulant little child, right? And Rey 2 was the Rey we knew basically the whole series. So it's like those are very two different things. I don't think they're like the same personality. I think it's just like they come out and then they like get given consciousness when they like exit the tank and start to like interact with people, and then they slowly develop different personalities. So like every Rey is different.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was just thinking like when they first quote unquote recover Rey when she dies and they bring out Rey 3 and Shinji meets her in the hospital, she does like remember him. She doesn't remember what happened, but she does like
Yes.
it's like everything that whole event is blank for her, but everything before
Yes.
that is kind of not. So they do to some
Well,
extent.
she seems to have. There seems to be some implication that it is some sort of a slight hive mind where Rey 2 starts to like think that
Oh,
like
you
I
know,
have
when they
like
put
these
Rey
memories.
back in the container, like the single tube container, I imagine that's probably taking what she has experienced
Well,
and learned.
that's possible.
That would
There
make
is. I
sense because
also
it's almost
think
like a backup.
yeah, because it is like the same pool and stuff like that. But it's also I think it's to like maintain her body, and the reason why she's sick all the time is because she's like an
True.
imperfect clone. So they like put her back in there to like so her body doesn't fall apart.
Yeah. And it does seem to be the same liquid as in
The unit. It
the
is
plugs.
LCL, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
So, which does take in a lot of mental, what would you even call it? But it would make sense
like
that
yeah.
by being in that same environment as the rest of the Rays, it would kind of let what she has gathered go. I mean, it is kind
Yeah.
of the instrumentality, right? You're combining you're
Yes.
combining Ray's experience to fill the holes in. Man, that last
Everybody
episode.
becoming one, etc.
Yeah.
There's the oh fuck, what was I about to say? Something about Rey. No, no. Don't run away from me, idea. Come back to me. Fuck, Rey something. Oh, I remember. Because there is like Rey's room in like the basement, right? Where it's like recreated.
Yes.
So there is some sort of like training for the Reys where it's like her exact room is in one of those buildings
True.
and stuff. And like she doesn't change her room at all. So there's some sort of
Except those
programming that
glasses.
sort of happens there, which is like really creepy. But yeah, there's that aspect too. A separate thing that we kind of touched on recently was the you can sort of track the progress of the angels to like. It seems like the whole time they were kind of trying to understand people, and their like final form. Where if you sort of think of them as like the same, they're all the same idea. Where it's like going down, collecting information, like making themselves again, going down, like because I think if you track it, like the way like the one before dies, the next one doesn't die that way or something. I think that's the case with the one they split in two, where like the one before that or something they cut it in half and that's how they killed it, but the next one when they cut it in half, it like they like became two, so it's like adapting.
Yeah.
And then eventually like the angel's final form is just a human, with some spiritual little powers Mr. Karu's got. But like the two before that are like entering Asuka's mind to get like what a human mind is, and the one before that is entering Rey's body and sort of getting the so
Which
and then
does
it ends up being Karu.
thematically makes a lot of sense with just the way the ending is framed around how human connection, I don't know, the
Yeah.
power of human connection and how
And even
that
the
is
angels wanted it or whatever.
I wouldn't
Like
even think wanted it. I think they just realized the effectiveness of it. But I also don't really understand angels well enough yet to make any
That is
assumption
true.
about about
Because
anything.
there is a cut where Misato like figures out that like they've been lying the whole time, where it's like the understanding was if an angel, angels all attack Nerve, which is actually something we speculated about last time. They all attack Nerve because they're trying to get to Lilith, apparently, who they think is Adam a little bit. And that's why they always attack Tokyo 3, right? But then Misato realizes that when Gendo isn't freaking out that an angel is down there, that the third impact won't happen if they make contact. Something else is going to happen, which I don't think we've said yet. So there is still some lingering. Oh, so what does it mean? What are the angels actually after? Are they the bad guy? Obviously, there's a lot of Shinji speculation in his head about like why he's killing the angels and stuff like that. But to be continued on that front, I guess. Any other plot stuff we should?
I don't know. I mean, if you have any questions about what I think something
I'm trying to think.
means,
The Rei stuff is probably the biggest mystery stuff, and then like Yui, the angels. We went over that.
Yeah, I guess there's still the why, because the human instrumentality project does it. It does.
That's what Seele wants.
Oh,
but Gendo seems to split.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, that does make sense.
Because Seele has a line. Well, the main guy who is like Keel or whatever, he has like a line where he's like it's Pandora's box, and we finally seen like the hope at the bottom of Pandora's box, which is like instrumentality project or whatever, and everybody becoming one. But Gendo seems to want to pivot into something else, which I don't know. Maybe you could figure it out if you thought about it, but I don't want to prod a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem that to do with Yui. I because I don't know. I get especially with his reaction to when 01 wakes up, quote unquote, whatever.
Yeah.
I forget. That was the end of episode 19.
Yeah, episode 19.
That definitely seems like this is something that aligned with his intent that did not align with Seele.
Yeah. Same with using
so I mean, retrieving Yui seems to be an important thing. I mean, the fact, now that I think about it, the fact that he consistently puts Rei in 01. There's kind of been a couple times where Rei is put in 01 for like testing, and if the intent could potentially be to bring Yui out and into this body that is meant to resemble her, that's that is the one thing I could really think of. If Gendo just has a really like kind of self-centered goal that doesn't really align with the bigger picture that was originally intended for this project, and it was literally just
that Fusky would be on board with
to come. Yeah, I guess, right? If he's just trying to essentially roll back whatever happened to Yui, that would make sense.
Because they do get Shinji out of Ava Unit 1, right?
Right.
When he like disappears that one episode.
So I imagine, true. Yeah, so which is very
interesting. Shinji was much more recently disappeared. That maybe you need a bigger plan then.
That's true. Yeah, they were saying like, oh yeah, because all the matter that makes up Shinji is already in there, and they had some time to do it. Yeah. So, but if they didn't have the time to do it for Yui and they need to do it instead, they need essentially a hollow body for her to inhabit. That would make sense. Why
and he's spent a lot of time trying to clone her, kind of, with Rei.
And I imagine that's why he would want to get Shinji, right? It would maybe having Shinji pilot 01 would be a way for Yui to kind of be brought out. Yeah.
Well, yeah. It also seems like really only the units can only use like if it's their mother, but Rei is like a different thing because Rei is kind of Yui. So will she work in Unit 1? Yeah, kinda. So it's like a thing, but also there's obviously the line where they're like, oh, if we have a son, we'll call it Shinji. If we have a daughter, we'll call it Rei.
Yeah,
so there's like some weird like, oh, does this kind of work thingy going on here? And Shinji also was tested in Unit 0 and was doing all right. So it feels like that. But Asuka has never tested anything else.
Yes.
Because
they give her some reason. No one can pilot O2 like you. And she's like, yes, so true.
Yeah, just playing her ego a little bit, all right? It's a little fragile, as we learned, but it'll work sometimes. The only other thing about the
Ari, did you have anything to say about Evangelion here?
Sure, I was about to say
I love Evangelion.
True.
Cool.
Ari
Well, I
doesn't
don't.
like any of this part of it.
Hey, no, wait, I had an answer
The
for
last
the
thing about
Ray.
this-
No, you're all wrong about Ray. She
Okay.
is.
Go ahead.
They're all clones in there. They don't have any consciousness or anything. They're just bodies, like biological
Agreed.
bodies.
True.
And then when
Hey, we're
they,
smiling, though.
that is because it's just a reflexive response to light. And then
True.
when
True.
when they need to make a
Wait,
new
that's
Ray,
absolutely true.
they transfer the consciousness of the existing Ray that is like dying or whatever, and they transfer it into the new puppet. So it's like it technically has the same like memories and experiences or whatever, but the transfer process isn't perfect, so it kind of like isn't really the same person, but it kind of is, but it is technically the same consciousness. That's my reading, okay?
But we do see
That was also
We do
that's
see-
essentially what I was getting at.
All right, good.
Well, we do see
I
Ritsuko
thought
like
that was
and her
obvious.
crew like find
Jeez.
the body of of Ray like charred. So I don't think they
Yeah.
were like taking
Why-
her consciousness out.
Well, I would assume because they found the body that somehow they were able to get the consciousness from it. That'd be my assumption.
No,
Um,
it's her
okay.
literal soul.
True. Why would they
True,
even
it
need
could
to
be, yeah.
retrieve the body?
It's her
if
literal
they
soul. They
didn't
say,
need it.
at least in
Yeah.
the subtitles I had, it said their soul.
Well, soul
Yeah.
consciousness.
Well, yeah,
what's
but I
the
think it's
difference?
individual souls. I
Uh,
don't know.
well,
No, that does
I
make
don't
sense,
know
actually.
I don't know. Ava seems to have different things, but you wouldn't. Consciousness could arrive from materialism, but soul seems to have a distinct spiritual aspect in most ways that I would assume is used. I wouldn't consider the consciousness to be a spiritual thing, but I could be wrong. I don't know what Anna's
Sure.
metaphysical
Japanese
beliefs are. Yeah, I don't
you know.
know like what Japan thinks the difference between consciousness and the soul is.
What
if there
Gendo
is one.
thinks.
Yeah,
My goodness.
Don't know.
Or Ritsuko, maybe. Just quickly on the thing we were talking about just before, the only other thing about the AV units is the S2 engine thing, where an S2 engine seems to be what powers the angels. And like Unit 1, when it eats the angel.
It's the Red Bull.
The what?
Is it? Is it the Red Bull? The marble that they have to
I don't
destroy?
understand.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, like the core looking
Oh, is
thing.
that-
Oh,
that's
the
an
Red
S2.
Bull, not the Red Bull. I thought you were making some sort of wings joke, Bacon.
Oh
Um,
no!
But
don't
yes,
have any of
no, that's
those.
the core. Actually, no, because I think that's just the well, it is true that they have cores to the AV units, and Misato was freaking out when she saw that. But I don't think that's it. The S2 engine, I don't think it's like a little engine thing. I think it is a biomechanical thing. But when Unit 1 eats it, now it's like some sort of god thing that everybody is freaking out about because it has like the properties of an angel and an Ava.
Of rubber and
But
gum.
also
That's what I thought of too.
true.
Uh,
I watched enough of that show to understand that reference. The other thing is the reason why the US branch blows up is because they tried to install their own S2 engine into Unit 4 or whatever it was, and it like completely exploded. So that seems
Right.
like something that wasn't possible unless I guess you eat an angel, and that was like the resolution of that because that starts in the Toji episode. So there's also
Didn't-
this S2 engine thing that's like a
Did anybody else
a
think
part.
when they said S2, they're like an M2 slot SSD drive? No.
That actually
don't
was
like
my
computer.
first thought, but I mean,
Oh, nice.
I didn't think anything of it. It was just like, like an M2 drive.
Yeah, M2 drive.
EliteAri, is there anything you would like to clarify about the plot, or would you like to move on to your next note?
That's fine. We can move on. That's my only clarification. My next note. Okay. I mean, we can now. Okay, we've talked a lot about the plot. Let's talk about the class rep storyline, where she has a crush on Toji because, oh my goodness, it's so cute.
Hikari.
Agreed.
It's
Agreed.
like, I mean,
Not class
it's
rep.
just like it's very simple, but I like the it even like I don't know. It's just like a cute like crush she has the whole like show basically. But it's the first one that really got to me was when she kind of gets excited because no one is like available to go and deliver the homework with him. So she's
And
like
then he
offers.
asked Shinji.
Yeah, then he asked Shinji. And I'm like, oh, this poor girl. You know, she was excited for a second. It's like small moments like that where I'm like,
And
oh,
then
I
they
feel
did a
bad
scene
for her.
twice, EliteAri. Did you know that?
They did a scene twice with. Wait, was that the? Oh yeah,
Yes,
this
it's
is
my
completely
video.
unrelated. But yeah,
You
they
idiot.
do a scene twice. Yes.
Mia, you're allowed to
Um,
watch my Great Ray video now, I think. Actually, I'm not sure.
Oh, let's go.
Maybe
I
wait till
don't
next
Yeah,
week.
she wasn't
End of
naked
Eva
though,
first.
so I felt a bit scammed by your
it wasn't the
thumbnail.
same.
Annoying. But that was a great little moment for Shinji. Like last time he was so frantic to come in here, but now he starts cleaning up Ray's room. What great character development he is showing right now. We love character development.
I
But
do
go ahead,
think
EliteAri. Hikari's the cutest.
to speak to what Ari's saying with the class rep girl, I think her inclusion is what makes the whole thing with what's his name, Suzuhara. That's like I feel like that's kind of the emotional core of it. I wouldn't have really have
Yeah.
cared about what like Shinji's reaction as much I think if I had not already kind of been emotionally charged by her, like making him the lunch, then he doesn't come, and it's so like clear what's happening. They do make it very obvious that he's going to be the pilot, but I feel like she adds so much to it that really makes it work.
I actually psyched myself out because I forgot that he was. I thought the Angel dude was the fourth pilot. So I was like, they're gonna change it. They're gonna like this is so obvious and so big. So I was like,
and they have to bring in him. That's crazy.
And then when it happened, I was like, oh no, this does happen, doesn't it? I remember this. Yeah.
Oh, this is like a production tale thing too. Is that like they wanted to kill Toji, but like there's like the merchandise people interfered, and that's why he survived and is just missing like an arm and a leg or something. That's like an old Ava lore thing. I don't know. Again, I don't know how fucking true this is.
I do think they should have just committed to letting.
It's kind of sadder that he's like in the same position as his little sister.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
And he's like completely
and it does mean it's quite sad too that like all of the students kind of get moved out, kind of very unceremoniously.
Yeah, because in the second last one, the whole city blows up.
Yeah.
Except for Misato's outskirt apartment, right? So we can still have scenes there. But yes, the whole city there's a big hole in the middle of the city. Crazy. But yes, they do note that Toji and everybody moved out. And Kensuke so badly wanted to be the Ava pilot, but it just wasn't meant to be.
My boy Kensuke.
Yep,
I actually thought it might be him because I thought the Toji stuff was so obvious that
it's an old anime, all right? Don't expect those sort of
subverting it. No, yeah.
But yes.
Hey, they did a good subversion though with the Ikari thing that that Mia said.
That was a good subversion. Yeah, that was actually really, really awesome.
Yep.
Wait, what are we talking about here?
When they're talking about the student Ikari and you think it's Gendo, but it's Yui.
Oh, true.
Yep.
That was cool. But is that all you had to say about that, EliteAri?
No, it was just more details, like about what Mia mentioned, like when the scene where she's like clearly made him food, but then she looks out the window and he's like on the roof with Ray, and it's like firstly that's really sad for her, but it's also just a sad scene because like the reason he like obviously he cares about the food, but it's like there's so much on his mind because he knows he's been selected to be an Ava pilot that it's like I don't blame him for not caring about it, but at the same time I feel incredibly bad for her because he's not paying attention to it, and I'm like there's no one to blame here, but it's just a sad situation. And also just separately, like when you guys were saying, I could correct me if I'm wrong because I could be wrong about this, but when he comes back like afterwards, is it in that scene where he says he apologizes about not having the food or whatever? Because if that's true, then I think it was worth bringing him back just for that resolution. But maybe that happened before that, and I don't remember.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, because I think that would be why it worked for me, I think. Which is that happened. I'm like, oh, cute. We get like a resolution where he actually did care about the food, and he was just busy at that time. And it was like not busy, like his mind was occupied. And I liked it. It was very cute, That's all I really have to say about this.
It is kind of crazy when you rewatch it because you remember this every time, but like Ray and Toji have a scene, it's just kind of like crazy. And they talk, and it's like all about how Ray clearly has a crush on Shinji. And it's like, what a crazy scene that this exists. And she's like relating to him about how he got selected. I was like, this is super cool. And there's also a cute scene with Asuka and Hikari where she's like judging her for liking Toji. And she's like, and what do you like about her? And she says, his kindness. And then Asuka does the big anime face of like, what? I think that's really cute too. But true. It is interesting that arc is 2 episodes. And it gets a lot of focus. And especially that first episode is very slow. And there's a lot of just like characterization scenes of people talking to each other. It's sick. I like it a lot.
And
it's also kind of the last moment of happiness before every other episode is miserable following. So
boring.
So is Toji's mom in 03?
A good question. She must be.
Do they just have
from America, which is interesting?
Yeah, it's from America, and she. Do they just have a stockpile of moms?
Well, they mention this later, right? How all the fourth, and this is true. It has to be true. Where like clearly, like Gendo or somebody like misleads people into trying to do contact experiments to like capture their souls or something. Must be how it works. But
and
they
so
do
just
like
have all
there
these
is
childless kids at school together in this one
Yes,
class.
they
Yeah.
do mention this, where it's
Does
like
make sense.
everybody in Shinji's class is like a candidate who does it.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I hinted at this
But
last
did-
time, where it's like
But
none
do
of
they
them
have
have
them in
mothers.
mothers as well then? So,
Yes,
or are you
yes.
just
This is like a thing
assuming
that's
this?
pointed out. Like
Is this
Kensuke,
explicitly said, or?
well, yeah, Kensuke says that he doesn't have a mother either. There's a background conversation between two characters we don't know in like episode 4 where they imply that they don't have mothers or something.
Okay.
Right. So when
So,
they're,
yeah.
so I guess, I don't know. It must not be that all these other locations, like the America location and the Germany location, are they aware of this? Does Gendo just send them like a
Maybe, yeah, maybe like this, the part the soul is in is shipped over there from
Yeah, I
Earth
would assume
or
it's
something, and then
in
it's
the
constructed there.
it's already in the plug, like the liquid in the plug. But that's
Yeah, I don't know the
spills
exact
out all the
mechanics of where it
time.
is.
That
Yeah.
they spill that liquid out all the time. It can't be.
Well, it refills constantly, so it must not be that.
Yeah, it must not be. Yeah, I don't know then.
Because like if the plug gets ejected,
right. It must be the materials of the Ava itself. Right,
I
because
think
no,
it's
they did
supposed to
say
be
the
probably more
DNA is
spiritual thing.
the DNA is injected into Lilith. I believe that's what they were implying. At least in the
Well, yes,
Well, they say in the
security.
flashback. Yeah.
Yes,
yes, they
that
say that's
they
how.
inject DNA.
Yes, that's how they
Oh, so
seem
the
to have made the
DNA
second
is
impact.
just that makes sense. They hold on to the
Yeah.
DNA only. I guess Yui was just like kind of a freak experiment, but then they
Well, yeah, it
kind of
seems to be
made
the first time they
they
didn't
made a
understand,
process of it from there.
because Yui was like the lead.
Yeah, which
girl,
would make
so she
sense
wanted to be
again
the
that
lead.
nobody's in the prototype because the Yui thing was a surprise.
Yeah. Or Yui was in the prototype and that's where she disappeared, and then that was transferred to Unit 1. I don't know. I'm not sure. Because this is another thing that's like revealed in the flashback episode, is it seems like Gendo, because it seems like originally Misato's dad was like the big guy. He knew everything. He was like the leader and stuff. But like Gendo and maybe Yui and like Seilei realized that like the experiment he was going to do to put DNA in the thing they found, which was Adam, would cause the second impact. So they all got out of there the day before or whatever to let him die. And basically also to fuck over Misato, which she doesn't know. Is like all part of it. Also, there's a cool shot where Misato like hasn't spoken in 2 years and she's very, very traumatized.
Yeah,
because she's in the flashback episode. That's like the haunting, cool piece of imagery I always remember. But yeah, flashback episode, good. Can you believe it? Hikari, what a cute girl. She's friends with Asuka. Asuka plays video games at her place that one time.
true. And then they go to bed. It's awesome.
True. EliteAri, anything else on that point?
That's it. No, I love it. It's the best stuff in this episode set.
Sure. Well, probably, but it's still good. Well, EliteAri, do you want to continue going down
All
the
right.
line?
I mean, the next thing we can go to the great Jockey Bacon here, who said that he liked this stuff a lot, which is the whole confrontation with Toji's Ava Angel thing. I think you said you liked that, right, Bacon? Like Shinji being forced to kill it, like Gendo doing that, and all that. Anything you want to say?
And then after that, well, actually, what I found more interesting was when Asuka and Ray were dying, and then, well, it just kind of leads on, you know.
Yeah,
it's
like all that storyline.
Yeah, that was cool.
Because there's like the Kaji moment too, where he tells Shinji that like he can do this or whatever. I know all the Kaji stands really like that scene.
What scene?
But true, and then it goes berserk. Well, they're at the watermelon patch, and he tells Shinji like, because Shinji is like, no, I'm not doing it.
I don't know why.
Actually, is that the next
Actually, I
episode?
know why. I keep mixing up Toji and Kaji because they sound the same. Not really. They don't sound the same, but they have the G at the
He's
end
a
of it.
racist.
They got G in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
happens.
And an I.
Yep.
But yeah, that scene's cool. We like that scene. I think the Ava going berserk is like a scene on YouTube that has like 20 million views or something. There's like a very popular video. Maybe it got taken down, but I remember like seeing thumbnails for that before I'd even watched the show.
That makes sense. All right, so when it comes to this whole Toji Ava Angel confrontation, let me see what my notes say. I love Gendo. I said that last time. Funnily enough, the reason I thought I liked him, it hasn't happened yet, I guess. So I guess we'll see what happens in the movie. But I appreciate how in this the toward the end when he's like when Yuji is like, not Yuji. What is that from? Oh my god, JJK.
Shinji?
From
Itadori, you
Jesus Christ. When Shinji is being
it's
refusing to kill Unit 4 or whatever the thing is. I appreciate Gendo's absolute coldness and ruthlessness, where he's just he's commanding
He
the
doesn't
mission.
give a fuck
Like
about
it's
that
very rare
dumb
that we
kid.
see him like doing all the instructions and like taking over the command of a mission.
Because
It's mostly,
Misato got blown up and she was away.
Yeah.
It's fucking
It's
sick.
it's very cool to see it. Like he immediately severs Rei's arm. He like tells Shinji when Shinji's like, "Oh, I'd rather die than do this." He's like, "So be it," and then like basically like replaces him with the dummy pug. And I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like I think the show does a very good job, at least for me, at making me absolutely hate Gendo, especially after this episode when he forces Shinji to kill his friend, basically. And he doesn't seem to care about it at all, and doesn't care about Shinji's perspective on it at all. Is
It's
really
misunderstood, you know?
Yes,
it gets to be
actually,
very
I have something on that too. In the next episode, after Shinji does that, and Shinji's trying to just leave, I was really annoyed with Gendo here because Shinji's like, "I'm gonna leave," and Gendo says, "Oh, then go." And Shinji says, "Yeah, okay." And he goes to go, and Gendo's like, "Oh, so you're running away?" He's just like,
Yes, he
doesn't
weaponizes
say
it
how he
against him.
actually doesn't say how he actually feels. Like he's like so he's just so fake. He pisses me off. He's so interesting, but that
is-
like pretending he doesn't care, saying like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you can just go then," and then when Shinji actually like calls his bluff on it and says okay, he tries to like guilt him about it.
Yeah, there's because this is also recontextualized in the flashback episode. What a great episode. Where he's not mean to Shinji at all. Like it's very clear this is a post Yui thing.
Yeah.
Where he is like mean to Shinji. There is a line in episode 26 in the alternative reality that sort of like elucidates this a little bit where if you don't remember, this is when like they're in a different anime for like 5 minutes or something, which is I really like that sequence a lot.
And it's really bad
you-
because it has all the tropes because she runs with the bread in her mouth. That's so
True,
bad.
That was
that's
the
an old
best
Digibro
So that was my
moment
Digibro
ever.
talking point there.
Yes, we love it, Chucky.
Wait, I had a question.
Um,
Is that trope with the
Okay, go
bread
ahead.
thing? Is that from Eva, or is that like Eva was referencing the trope?
no, I think that's like an old like
Okay.
Ranma 1/2 thing or something.
Have you never ran
Um,
with bread in your mouth? You're missing out.
She was
True,
late.
yeah.
What's she gonna do? And Ray's got a different voice, and she's got so much personality.
She's
It's
got
so
such a
fucking
personality.
cute
Yeah,
and
it's
funny.
crazy.
She like covers up and says, "You're the panty peeper" or whatever, and everyone in the class reacts. Hilarious. And there's also the moment where Asuka like pulls back, and it literally says "pulls back" on the thingy because it's like in storyboard mode. Everything about that's cool. But the thing I was saying is in that fantasy or reality or alternative reality, as Shinji says, Yui and Gendo are both alive, and they're like just his parents. And Yui repeats the line of like, "Gendo, you're just like Shinji for real.
Mhm.
Gendo, you're just like Shinji for real." So this seems to be definitely like
Yui, whatever you say, Yui. You don't see
she's
his face.
Jesus. I'm telling you, everything she says is 100% truthful. But yeah, so it seems to be like when they're like going back and forth, it seems to be a mirror match in a sense where it's like he knows to say the running away to thing to Shinji because it seems like this is something he is internalized to, and they are very similar.
Yes.
Because there's a thing in the flashback episode 2 when for like a week after Yui disappears, Gendo like disappears. And then when he comes back, he's like, "Let's do the human instrumentality thing, tell Seele I'm in," or something. So it's very clear he like ran away. And also you can interpret this as him running away from Shinji rather than Shinji running away from him when he abandoned him like right afterwards. And there's a bunch of things you can like read in there. So that stuff is cool. I wrote down a few things about, I think it was what EliteAri said. The coolest moment of this Shinji thing is when he threatens to like destroy all of headquarters. That's so cool. When Gendo Gendo's like, "Oh, he's having a tantrum or something. Fuck this little kid."
Yeah, and he like crushes
That's really
him.
good. Another interest, huh?
He like crushes him with the pressure of the liquid thing. It's also
He does. Yeah.
Gendo is like what I think a bit of what Miu was saying before about like it is what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling in the scene, in that scene, as well as like in the scene where he's like when Shinji is leaving basically and like the handcuffs and everything, is truly like a feeling of, man, just say like either kill him now somehow, even though I know it's not possible, but like kill your dad right now, he's evil, or like just say something to like get the upper hand, or like make him look foolish or something, but he never does. It is just, I just wanted to reiterate that. I agree with that. It's very.
I think this is maybe why I
is-
just like dislike basically most of the characters, or just like the show. It's because like the characters are either hateable, irritable, or boring.
At
And
what
there's
point,
very
though,
few
is
And then
aren't.
there's Pen Pen.
And then I'm watching this, and I'm just like, "Oh, you're telling me something new about them," and I'm just like, "I couldn't care less. I'm sorry."
are you not like fascinated though at the study of a character you don't like as a person, like who pisses
He's
you
just a
off?
hating us.
Oh,
Hating you.
I
Don't even waste your
do,
breath.
but I think it's just more like, of course I do. Like, there's loads of characters that I hate that I
Right,
find
yeah.
interesting, but I don't find this. It's
It's
more
just, it's a
just
different
like,
type of hate, right?
and I think it's more just like everybody's incredibly incompetent because they don't understand. Well, they just they're not adults, and then I just find them like, yeah. Anyway, I just find it very uh elementary, I guess, of characterization. I don't think it's that interesting, and I don't think it's that complex, and therefore, like, the fact they're dislikable is like a very basic thing. And when I think about that, I don't find that interesting. Like, yeah, like I like it when a character makes me feel strong emotions. And then at school, anything's better than boring. But then, like, it's like boring, boring, boring. Okay, a bit hateable. And then I'm just like, well, why do I hate them? Was it's kind of it's not that even that interesting. Or rethinking of reason of
guess,
why they're
do
hateable
you-
isn't
Do
interesting.
you find their flaws to be like shallow then?
Yeah, I just find them to be like, yeah, I like Oscar's a great example where I'm just like, it's just like, yeah, I just there's not much, like I like when Carl will be like, oh, she clearly wanted like Shinji to like run into
Shinji
the
to follow
bathroom
her or
after
whatever.
or whatever, follow him or whatever. I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's
That's
it.
literally
Like
me for real.
I don't find that. Yeah, I just don't find that interesting at all. And so I'm just
Was
like,
it you
you're
or
just
EliteAri said the relatability thing earlier? It was you, right?
About what? I said I
That
didn't
you
relate to
find
either of those.
Shinji
Oh
or
no!
Oscar
Oh
relatable?
yeah! Ari
Oh
did
no, it
say
was
that.
EliteAri. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'd also find that.
I
Yeah.
think it just is like the conceit of everything of what you're gonna like and what you're not gonna dislike is like, and you've said this a few times, which is definitely true. Where it's like, people say this about Vinland Saga when they say they don't like it. I remember I used to have a chatter that would say this all the time, or it was like, Vinland Saga is like really impressive thematically, and that's what I used to talk about all the time. And he was in chat all the time, and he'd be like, "But I just like don't care, so I'm not gonna like care about a theme." Like the other aspects have to get you into it for you to care about like
absolutely.
character
Something has
psychology
to
or
open the door
whatever.
for you to want to try.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like,
And I think
invest.
it just doesn't for Bacon. So
Yeah,
it's just
and
like,
I just like
always
nothing
gonna be that way.
like. Yeah, it's just like nothing about this. And there's some bits, like there's some characters I do find interesting. There's some relationships I do find kind of interesting, but it's just not really on them. Like Ray, for example, is just like such a nothing burger of a character to me. Like I then like something happens, I'm like,
Crazy cool.
okay. And then it's just like, and then yeah, I guess like then there's no like compelling to figure out the lore, or there's nothing compelling to figure out like yeah. And it I think it also to me, it just like I think it befuddles me a little bit that it's such a cultural icon as well. Like
It's 'cause it's the
why
greatest.
but like
I guess-
genuinely I don't
I can-
understand, like it must resonate with a lot of people for some reason.
I think it's
But,
just
like-
unique. It's very different from any other story I've seen.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
feels
loads of stories are
contemporary
like
for the
that. You can
time.
go watch an Ari Aster movie and Beau's Afraid, or you could go, you know,
Well, it's got
there's
the
so many
trappings.
movies
Well, that's
that
the
are
thing,
unique Ari.
but
It's just
the
like
timing.
why
Well, it's
It
unique and
really is
popular.
the timing.
Yeah, but why is it popular? That's I guess. Like it must have been just the time it was in.
Well, probably I was assuming.
I
Yeah, I
feel-
would assume at the time it was unique
the medium.
like well made or something.
Timing
like
and
great
medium.
production and all that.
Was it actually great production? I don't know. OVA's like the OVA boom was pretty
Is this an OVA?
insane. Like, no, but
No,
like,
no.
like,
Oh.
like, but the OVA boom before this was before.
Well, what are the
Japan's
contemporary
staged-
Well, I
shows to
think
compare it
stagflation.
against? Like I've seen the only thing I've seen from like the 90s is like Utena, and Utena is like an embarrassing production compared to this. So I don't know like what what are the comparable I guess shows in the time period. Like Cowboy Bebop
Yeah,
was
maybe-
that was like
maybe
way later,
having-
I guess, right? I don't know.
Cowboy
Yeah,
Bebop is
it was
much
2
later.
years later.
2 or 3 years later, yeah. The and it's very different. Plus, there's I don't know. I think mostly the popularity probably has to do with like the trappings of sort of normal shows, I guess, and then like because all the like extra stuff is kind of at the end. And I think it probably just the Monster of the Week stuff was probably made it popular. I think the difference between like the OVA
Maybe,
thing and
yeah.
the TV stuff is just that like TV anime is obviously going to be seen by more people than like
Yeah, definitely.
video.
more
Yeah.
accessible. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe if it's like a weekly thing that you put on, oh, let's watch this thing every week.
Yeah. I don't know.
I-
Why is anything popular? It's
I
hard
think
to say, I guess.
it introduces, at least my interpretation of it is that it introduces a lot of directorial decisions that are probably not too frequently seen in the animation space. And I imagine the timing of that
Yeah, kind of.
is what kind of propels it.
Mm.
And the
It probably
characters
does
like
some
aren't
interesting
one
things
note.
with Christian imagery or Abrahamic imagery, which then is probably also unique to a Japanese audience. I think that,
But
that's
a lot
another
of
thing that
anime
like,
has that. Like Devilman, that's all over Devilman, right? And obviously
yeah,
Devilman's kind of an inspiration for this. So
yeah, but then it does things in a different way, like the explosions being crosses and stuff like that.
yeah,
It gives
and
a
then-
sense that there is a depth to the imagery that I don't think there really is that much.
I think this is another thing that frustrates me. Like the one thing that could appeal to me, that does appeal to me innately about the show is like the most nonsensical or most vapid, as far as I can tell, which is the use of Abrahamic imagery. Like it really doesn't seem to be the point of the show. So then I just
Not
find,
really.
then it's just like, okay, the one thing. So yeah, there you go. What I feel about Evangelion, sometimes cool, but mostly irritation, boredom, and disappointment. So yeah.
I
there you
think
go.
just lastly on that, I think because when you watch like video essays on it or something, there is like a very direct like Shinji is literally me, brother, with like a lot of people that I do think I think Shinji as like this sort of scared I don't know how else you would describe him. I think it is very relatable to a bunch of people. The Asuka stuff is less
I think
so,
it's
like,
relatable
there's
to a
very
lot of people
specific-
who would watch anime in the West, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
aka
Maybe.
nerds that don't go outside. At least
Well,
in the 90s and in the early 2000s.
I don't think
It
that's
has this
That's
Shinji's
cult
fault
Shinji's
of
problem.
specifically.
He just needs to go outside.
just need such grass.
I don't think so. I think the problem is more what happens when he goes outside. Because then there are directly like Asuka stuff, like, but that's a lot rarer. I think. I don't think like the relatability to Asuka stuff is like the only other example I can think of is like Endless Jess, which is a Bacon. Do you know about Endless Jess? Because
I do know of, but
well,
I've not really
yeah,
interacted with their content.
because he used to talk about that a lot. I guess another thing, and this was one of my first notes that I kind of wanted to say at the beginning, but I forgot, is that I didn't like Ava when I first watched it, like, either, really. Well, I kind of liked it. I was like, oh, this is okay. But I was just kind of watching it because it was, like, a popular show. It wasn't until, like, I watched it again later that I actually liked it. So it is a different thing. Like, when I first saw Oscar, it wasn't like, this is the most relatable character ever. I think it was a lot later, after I interacted with people a little bit more. In a relationship sense, I think that I more directly related to that sort of stuff. So I don't know. It just, I don't know. It depends, I guess. But Ava is popular because it's the greatest of all time. That's what the takeaway is.
Okay, I figured out the reason why I find the characters dislikable is because I find them very pathetic, and so that's like
That's definitely true. That's definitely part of
love
the core
pathetic
appeal, I think,
characters,
for me.
though. That's the thing.
Do I got a
I
show
don't know.
for you, Mia?
When someone
Starts
like
with M,
really
and the second word starts with M
disappoints me,
too.
Madoka
yeah.
Magica?
Pathetic. No, Mad Men. EliteAri, come on now. The which is funny because I guess the other shows I would relate to this, where like the pathetic characters are like the core thing, would be like Mad Men and The Sopranos, which are two things Bacon doesn't really like. So that could be, maybe there's a through line here.
maybe.
What is
But I don't
wait,
know.
you gotta
I don't think-
clarify. What is the pathetic character in this case? Like, what are we talking
Shinji,
about?
in
Asuka.
this show, everyone. I think everyone's kind of just a shallow.
It's just like there's a lack of maturity from everyone.
I don't think
Oh,
it's
and like
shallow,
self-understanding and ability to
Well, the critique.
grow up.
I don't.
guess.
So when I say
don't know.
shallow, I don't mean shallow and like they don't have any depth to them as characters. It's like as people, they are all. Many of them are pretty
That-
self-centered.
Yeah, I guess self-centered. I would agree with.
I think also like their internal problems. It's like they don't need to go to therapy because all they have to do, all I feel like I have to do, is think for like 10 minutes and I'd figure out my problems. Like just self-reflection. Write journal once in your life and you'll figure it out. It's not hard. Like, yeah, I think that's like then it just makes like we think these just don't feel like real people, I guess, or like any respectable. There's no, yeah, there's just
See,
like
that's the crazy, like, exact opposite to me, where I'm like, this is like extremely real. The because I think this might just be like a strength of Bacon's character, and I think we've talked about this before. I don't know if it was to this Bacon where it's like, Bacon's like too good of a person to like the show or something. I must have said that about like The Sopranos at some point when you said you didn't like keep up with it or something. And we definitely had this talk about something. I can't remember what it was. Whereas like Bacon seems like too sorted out or like too put together to like relate to like the patheticness. Because I definitely think the being seen through the patheticness of the characters or allowing these characters to be so pathetic in this like very like visceral sort of way of like Asuka just wants people's attention and for people to think she's the best, and Shinji just wants somebody to like baby him. Is like sort of a pathetic want that I feel like most people find very relatable. But maybe you don't. It's kind of I'm trying to remember what the
I think it's one of those
yeah,
things where it's just like if a kid was acting like that, then yes, or like say if there was like a family gathering and there was a kid that was acting that way, their parent would probably instantly go, "Oh, they just want this," and it'll be exact yeah, you know.
But nobody has parents.
But that's like
maybe that's true.
think
They
so.
have no one has parents, so like yeah.
This is what a world would look like if it didn't have parents.
Yeah.
Everyone sucks.
Well, I don't think, because I think like the thing is like, oh, this is like Anno putting himself into Shinji and stuff, or him putting himself into Asuka, and it's like he was like what 35 or something when he made this show. So I don't think it's like, oh, this is like a childish thing. I think it's like supposed to be like relatable to adults. It's just like more.
There are
like,
some interesting
tangible to
things
put
at
in
the
a
end
child or
though.
something.
Like I like the concept of like
the resolution. I guess,
everybody has a different version of you in their heads, but because their worldview is so myopic of you, like because they can't know the full you, then you shouldn't put so much stock in that and not care enough. Like I think that's a really interesting way to like. That's quite a salient way of putting the point, but yeah. So I guess maybe it's just like maybe it's not necessarily the themes exactly, but partly the rapping as well. I don't know, because like sometimes they do.
Well, yeah,
like sometimes they do like
rapping.
touch on something which I do think, oh, that's interesting because it is true. Like even you saying that like oh, Bacon is like this. Sort himself out, whatever. I'm like, I don't know if me and Ari would agree with that. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But like that's my perception of you in your head. And maybe that's my perception of myself in my head or whatever, but maybe that's not true.
I think you're introspective in a way that none of these characters are. Maybe not sorted yourself out. I mean, who has sorted themselves out?
I've sorted myself out, mate. Easy peasy.
I don't
life is yeah, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
I don't think the point is necessarily the lack of introspection. I think it's like, even for me with my like issues or whatever I would have, like the introspection isn't the issue. It's the follow up and like falling back into the same traps or whatever. So I don't think, because this is like the therapy thing where it's like, oh, if they just went to therapy, they would sort it out. Like, I don't think so. I don't think them realizing it is the problem. I don't think realizing it is going to help Asuka. Shinji realizes it at the end, but I sort of interpret the thematic resolution as like, every time I watch Avery, you get to the end, you're like, yes! If you just don't like worry about what other people think, you'll be much happier. And you know, life is full of possibilities. So if you're depressed now, don't kill yourself. But like, it fades by like the next day, and then it takes like another Ava reading for you to have this positive thingy. And this is like the famous. This isn't even famous. Like the very infamous meme I would always say whenever I finish Evangelion, I would like to tell stream chat like, I'm gonna make the video that's titled "ContraPoints is Evangelion," because like watching ContraPoints videos usually gave me the same sort of like feeling at the end, where it would be like, oh, now true. If we were just nice and you know you didn't overreact to everything, and you know we would all be happy and nobody would ever fight. And it's like you feel that for like a buzz for like 40 minutes after you finish the video or 40 minutes after you finished Evangelion, and then your fucking annoying ass brother doesn't put the seat down or something. You're like, this dumb motherfucker, I'm gonna kill this idiot one day. And you're mad all over again, and you're mad at something else, and then you realize what you gotta do the next day, and you're depressed. I gotta wake up tomorrow. It's just like the earth spirals into it. I don't know if this is just the mind of a depressive or what's going on here, but it is like the high of the thematic resolution and that Shinji has at the end of this is like not forever lasting, I don't think. And I think imparting it in like a piece or in like a show or something is to try and like, oh, come on, guys, don't we all agree with this? To like think it's going to resonate so it'll stick this time. But I think kind of the tragedy of being a person is that it's not going to stick the whole time, and you just got to try and make it stick like 51% of the time to make like life a little bit better or something. But it is interesting because every version of Ava's ending gives like the same feeling, even though they're all pretty different.
That's funny.
And I guess that's something we can.
I will say, like what you said there is like far more interesting than anything I think Ava.
Well, I think I get all that from Ava.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's a lot more illuminating of like, oh, okay, that helps me find Ava more interesting. Because I was going, I mean, we'll get onto the character list, but there's sometimes I'm like, here, character, I'm like, why does Carl like this character this much? So, you know, I'm just like...
I mean, the Asuka thing's kind of obvious, right?
Yeah,
but no, actually, like, it's not.
It can't just be that. It can't just be that. Like, surely
Wait, it can't just be what?
Anyway, the obvious thing.
Wait, what did you say, Bacon? Leader talked and I didn't hear you.
Oh, no, I was just thinking it can't just be that. Anyway, in response to
what?
It's obvious.
Okay, I guess we'll wait for it later.
Yeah.
Oh, I had things to talk about before we started the thematic conversation where it was about Gendo. There's a moment where Rei is killing herself and Gendo like visibly gets like a little distraught for a second, and I think that's really cute. Where he's like Rei or something, and then it like cuts to Misato also freaking out. That Rei like killing herself scene is like top 3 scene in the show for me. I think I really love Thanatos playing as it plays, which is the song. It's like really great, and I feel like it's also. There was one of the rewatches where I forgot she died, and I remember being like, whoa, this is fucking crazy. Because I think I just, like, it must have been, like, the second one where I thought, like, the Rei is obviously the same Rei the whole time. And maybe I literally just missed that, like, she obviously died and it's a new one or something. But I was like, whoa, that's fucking crazy. Like, they actually stuck with she's fucking dead. That's the Rei. That's the Rei I love. That's the 10th greatest character of all time. And she's fucking dead. And so that was very sad. But yes, Thanatos is like the best song in the show, and it will be an end of Ava with lyrics in a credit sequence, so get ready for that. And I sing it every time in my little head as it comes on. Alternative reality. Oh, I have some other pivoting things. Do you want to go into this, or will we go on somewhere else? Because I want to talk about Kaji a little bit.
Sure.
Or were we going somewhere? I can't remember.
I don't think we can finish off the Toji Ava Angel thing we talked about like an hour ago.
True, good idea.
I only have 2 very short notes. I have one is that, oh my goodness, Evangelion actually does something very good, which is something that I think maybe I was gonna say all old anime, but I think it's only the Anno things of Gunbuster and Ava, but it does screaming really well. When Shinji screams, like after he kills Kaji or whatever, I think it's like at that point he has a really good scream there, and it's like, man, that's like affecting. And then Misato like screams back at him, and I'm like, this is like so good. Yeah.
The biggest scream is yet to come, the most famous Shinji scream, so you can look forward to that.
Well, how exciting.
I am aware of that scene. I don't know the context for it, but I have seen the clip of that scream.
Yeah. It's right before that credit song I was just about to say. It was just...
Oh, shut up, man. You gotta stop.
Yeah.
And that is not a spoiler in the way you think it is. You got no idea. You'll see.
Yeah,
we'll talk about this next time.
You've got no idea.
Oh, the great Bacon backing me up. We love it.
Yeah. I don't gotta know what's in this movie until I watch it.
It's just the greatest movie of all time, you know, but we'll get to
it. I'll put it this way.
Don't put it in any way.
I'll put it this way. All right. Okay. My anime list, Jockey Bacon score, Neon Genesis Evangelion, still 2.
2.
Oh, wow.
But End of Evangelion, I think I put it as a 5 or 6. So let's put it this way. Yeah,
it's that damn good.
Is that?
Like,
I think it was good. I don't know. To be fair, I would have rated some of these episodes.
Like $20 trillion to make this show.
It's nothing to do with what I'm saying. I don't.
Sure.
Well, what are you saying then?
I'm going to soon get on my. I'm going to soon get on my feet and applause.
There have been so many times in this conversation where you'll say something, you'll be like, "Oh, but that's in End of Eva." And I'm like, you didn't need to tell me that's gonna be there.
Trust me, 1,000,000%.
I'm gonna watch the film.
There's no way to spoil this movie, right?
All right.
Don't worry. Your reaction to it will be.
That's code for you'll be just as confused after as the end of this one.
Nuh-uh, that's not the case. We'll see.
The main thing is that I got spoiled on the song but it was still a great song.
The other song.
That,
I
oh,
wasn't
you know
even
the
talking
song.
about that song. Everybody knows this
Wasn't
song.
it referenced in her her flashback as well? Was that one some of the words, the lyrics that came up?
I think so.
I wasn't. I didn't want to pause too much.
Yes, maybe. We can talk about it more next time, I guess. But true. EliteAri was saying something, I think.
Was I? No, I think
Oh,
I finished. The
screams! The
screams are good.
It's
The
good.
pivot into the screams, true.
Yeah.
Screams are good.
And I was teasing. There's two things I kind of want to follow up, specifically with Mia from last time. Was the Kaji
Cool.
stuff, and then the Misato Mushoku Tensei fan stuff. So we'll start with
yeah.
Kaji. So
I
Kaji
liked
is
him
like
more.
a Giga Chad, you know. He doesn't. Women's lips don't tell you the truth, right? You just got to trust, and you just got to grope him a little bit. So in the end, how do you feel about Kaji? I guess and his portrayal.
He's still a creep. I liked him a little bit more this time, especially with like he has really good interactions with Shinji that kind of
It's true.
salvage his character a bit. We definitely didn't need that 2-minute long scene of Misato moaning in the background.
I
don't
made a
think
whole
that was-
video about that scene. My goodness, you had to watch that one soon too.
That's
Obviously a great scene.
crazy. That's crazy. I mean, man,
I forgot about this scene.
It was just like, wait, what? What did you say, Justy?
I
Is that a
forgot about that
director's cut?
scene.
You forgot about it. How could you?
I know. I was like, when I watched Carl's video, I was like confused. I was like, oh, I guess this happened.
I don't
What a
know.
great scene. What a thing.
He has good moments. I mean, he's as flawed and weird as everyone else.
I think he's not supposed. I think the flaws are more like us placing modernity on him. I don't think like the show thinks he's like flawed. I think the show thinks he's kind of got it figured out.
Unfortunately, true. Unfortunately,
But yeah. So that was the follow up. Also,
He's not
the Misato,
pathetic. He's just immoral, which makes him
yeah,
a way better
I
character.
will give him that. He's not pathetic.
And he waters his plants. Oh, what a guy!
he's growing a bushel out there of watermelon,
Mm.
and you got to have a hobby, all right?
True.
God forgive.
Oh, there is that funny moment where
forbid men
Shinji's
have
like,
hobbies.
"You know, I'm a boy, right?" When he's like,
Yeah, that was
asking him to
very
buy him a
funny.
drink.
That was
And then
good.
they have a
Bans.
cute little conversation. But true, he's harassed every woman in the office that's named. It's pretty great. The Misato stuff, or what was
Oh, is
your
that like
read
is
there?
that canonical or is that just what we watch? So?
Well, Maya he does, Ritsuko he does, Misato he does, and I think that's all of them, unless the kids, of course.
Oh, I see.
Kaji rejects Asuka every time. Not a pedophile, the great Kaji, just a groper. So that counts for something.
Yeah,
right?
at least he only sexually harasses adult women. That's good.
What about
That's a,
pretty
that's a
good.
step
14-year-old
above
boys?
the author. Well, the what?
What about 14-year-old boys and Misato Katsuragi?
Yeah, they definitely call her out a lot in this section. Like when Shinji's leaving and they meet at the train station, he does kind of call her out pretty hard about how kind of weird she is with him. And then the whole thing at the end, her interrogation, whatever you want to call it, was kind of centered around her seeing her father in Kaji and being scared of that, and being kind of in denial about that. And once again, that all the weirdness with Shinji of like the way she presents herself around him is very intentional. She's still one of my favorite characters. I think they do a good job of pointing out that this is not okay, which is cool.
I don't think that's the point. I don't think that's. Yeah, like I think the ones at the beginning are just a joke, and I think the later one isn't about that. I think like the fact that she's like terrified of like Shinji, who is like her surrogate son, seeing her in like a sexual context, sort of undermines that. Like the moment she tries to like comfort him by sleeping with him is like a moment where she's very like brain broken. So I think it's very separate, and I think like the stuff where she's very like
Wait, I don't remember
against
any of
him
this.
seeing the
Well,
true
if
her.
she's like quote unquote brain broke, it's not changing her fundamentally. She's exposing a part of her, like a kind of subconscious aspect.
Well, it doesn't seem
of
like
this
she
dynamic.
wants Shinji. I think she's just like, oh, if I give him this, he'll be happy type.
But
thing.
she's filling in the gaps that she feels. She sees Shinji as somebody that she can fill a missing piece of her with in that way. Like the
I don't
scene where like
know.
she thinks Shinji's feeling lonely, and she goes into the room and he kind of kicks her out, and then she realizes she was the one
Yeah, that's the one.
feeling lonely. Yeah, that's what you're referring to. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, because then Pen like rejects her afterwards too, and she has a.
yeah, that pen knows what's up. He's like, you're weird, and he tells her to fuck off.
Then she has to ship him off at the end. That was sad.
That was sad.
The
So you think? So
EliteAri,
you think?
so
I don't.
What?
I mean, whatever. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Mia. Go ahead. We can pivot to EliteAri in a second.
It's just. Do you think that she is not being called out for?
No,
her
I don't
treatment
think any of like. There's so many old anime where the older girl like kisses the boy, as like a moment where he's like grown up. I feel like it's not like they're not like commenting on pedophilia here. I don't think at all. I think it's supposed to be like a Misato character moment of like, look how like sad they both are, and it's like, why don't like this is not a thing you should do. Like this
It's
is not
more
the type of
of the
relationship you
male
have.
writers being like, God, I wish that was me. I think.
No, I don't think that's the thing.
I am
at all.
so lost. What are you
Um,
guys talking of? Did I like miss something?
Oh, EliteAri, there's a scene where Shinji's sad because Rei is dead, and this is before they get the call to
I don't think this was
make it
that bad.
insinuate
Actually.
To be fair, I didn't read that. I didn't even read that as sexual. I read that as she is just trying to.
Well, that's the big Misato pedophile moment, really.
Wait, what
Is that
scene?
really
Wait, what
the
happens?
remake?
I don't remember any. Maybe I
Okay,
missed
so
it.
She comes into Shinji's room, and
Okay.
Shinji thinks Rei's dead, and he's sad, and he says, "The tears won't come, Misato." That's
Oh,
so
yeah, I remember
sad."
that. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Kaji's just
Yeah, and
just
she
died,
thinks
and she goes to
Kaji's
put her
dead.
hand on his hand, and the implication is that she's gonna have sex with him to cheer him up.
Huh? What? Jesus? I never got that. I just assumed it was like she's caring about him. Like, oh, he's like suffering right now.
It
Like,
is interesting because
that's what a parent does. What would a parent do?
Well, I do think she has like a kind of mixed. She has a weird interpretation of what it means to
Because she's
like,
not
care
really
for
his
this
mom,
boy
right?
and comfort him.
She's like not old enough to be, and it's like it
She's-
is a little
she's
like
his
she doesn't
guardian.
really know how to
She
do
is
it.
definitely the mother figure. Like I could easily imagine if she was
Absolutely, yeah, but
if she
it's
was
like she's not-
actually the biological mother, I'd believe it. I'd be like, yeah, this is like fine. Like she's how old is she? I always assumed she was like maybe 30 or something, right?
She's like 29 or something. They say.
Yeah.
I think.
yeah, I would have.
And how old is
assumed
Shinji?
that.
Like, they're about to be 30?
13?
Shinji's
14, so she would be 15. So I guess
Yeah, it's like
it's
it's
biologically
possible. Yeah. Well, not biologically. I
You
mean,
would-
like I could imagine that
Well, it
being a
would be possible
situation.
biologically.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
legally, but
Like the
no, she's
Well,
she's
yeah.
his guardian, so it doesn't really matter. Like she can still be a mother
Yeah.
figure.
Well, that's true, but there's definitely like a thing about like fake mothers in this because Asuka has one too.
I
But I
see.
think more of the point is that like
And Mitsuko
Misato
has her
obviously
grandmother
like who?
and her cats.
Oh,
true,
yeah,
Mitsuko
true.
does, yes. Wait, what were we clarifying for a second here?
The
If
nature
she
of
should,
Misato's comfort in this scene, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're saying because the hand is on the. No, I
just.
just thought she like cares about him. She's like, oh, he's suffering. But I guess I could see if you think of a hand placement as like romantic or whatever. I just didn't read it like that, but okay.
Well, she
I feel
also
like
has a line where
Shinji
she's
read
like,
it that
"This is all
way.
I can do for you now," or something, and it's like,
Yeah, like care, like look after him,
I think
like
that
be here
adds
for
to it.
him.
I think it's just
Leary,
within the
you can have whatever interpretation
The-
you want, honey.
I don't
I'm
think
not
the
opposed to it.
scene on its own is like a big problem. It's more just in the context of everything else with their dynamic and how she acts.
See, it's
around
interesting
Hmm.
because I think Mira's come to closer to my conclusion, but like I don't agree that initial stuff is supposed to be like suspect or bad.
I don't think it actually
I-
is. It only feels
Yes,
that way to
in
me because I know the general consensus around this
discourse,
character, the
yeah.
discourse. Yes, it's but it's still planting the idea there intentionally. Like you're supposed to think about it. They wouldn't like write the dialogue
I
to,
think so, yeah.
if you weren't supposed to at least still have it in your mind, especially when again Shinji calls her out in front of the, I wish I remembered the exact dialogue. I should have wrote it down.
I feel like Shinji interpreted it in the way that you're interpreting it, in the sense that Shinji interpreted it in the way that he thought that she was offering her body, but she might have not necessarily meant that.
Because it freaks Shinji out a lot.
Yeah. I don't think like. Then again, you don't really see. Does anybody hug in this show? I don't think
What
What a
Maybe.
good question.
I don't know.
That's a wonderful question.
See, that's what Chainsaw Man was about. You got to hug people and get over this.
Does
Ava,
Gender? No, he
depression.
doesn't. No. I was gonna say, did he hug Ray when she got out of
Yui
the
hugs
capsule in like
baby
episode?
Shinji.
Yeah, true.
Asa's not Asa. Funny. Asuka's mom hugs that doll and then tries to kill it. That's a hug. But true. Anyway, the Misato thing. We can come back to this in a bit. I think it is interesting. I think it is like weaponized into funny discourse online where it's just like, you like Misato? You like a pedophile? Loser? Did you know Evangelion sucks? That sort of thing.
I've never
and
heard
you don't really want to be the one
a series
defending it.
get lambasted for pedophilia before.
True. I'm choking on my own laughter. But
I already don't like that joke.
Huh? What was I don't get the joke. Something about Mushoku
we
Tensei.
just made fun of series getting made fun of for being pedophile shows, EliteAri, and it was about Mushoku Tensei. That was
True.
the undertone.
Yep.
Now we can move past that, I guess. Did we just resolve our conversation? I do not remember.
Yeah, I think we came to the conclusion that I have a completely different reading of Misato from like beginning to end. It's interesting.
Well, he already has some funny reading sometimes.
You
The
should
other
make a
thing,
video
which
on
actually
that.
ties,
Sure.
my goodness, he should. Another thing that kind of connects to this is there's this silhouette
Misato
shot.
is not on the Epstein files. That should be the title.
God.
Misato is not a Mushoku Tensei fan, confirmed. My goodness.
I think she just has plausible deniability. I think that is it. She walks a very, very fine line.
True. Vague is what I'll say. This thing. There's a shot, and I think it's the first shot we get of Yui, because the first time we ever get any like instance of Yui is we hear her voice when Shinji's like in the sphere thing. And he's like dying or whatever, and he hears her voice because like whenever he runs out of power, his mother comes to save him and activates the Evangelion or whatever. But she hears his voice, and he hears her voice, and we see her in like a silhouette form where it's all like blacked out, and like the pose she does. This is like a piece of imagery that's in my brain forever. It's just a very visceral image to me, where Yui is like hunched over to like pick him up like out of his stroller or something, is like the imagery. And they like definitely use this exact same framing when he comes back in episode 20 from her being like in the liquid or whatever, and Misato is framed exactly like that, which is obviously like her being the mother figure that's like saving him and stuff. And I think Yui also appears in that episode too to him. Also, they definitely use this as like a basis for one of the shots in the Berserk movie where Griffith is having his existential crisis in the eclipse, and like the lady goes to pick him up out of like the cradle, and then suddenly it's got the God hand's face on it. It's like the coolest shot ever, and I love the picking up the baby imagery whenever it's in anything. But I thought I would mention that because we were talking about motherhood.
Would you like
and
to pick up
Misato
your
being a
own
mother.
baby one day in that same imagery?
My goodness. Well,
I was actually
kind of
going
a
to ask,
motherly imagery.
could you pick me up in that baby imagery style?
Wow.
When we
Jockey
meet in
Bacon,
person.
you're so short. I could just pick you up and put you on my
I'm so
shoulder.
short and small and light.
And dainty and cute. Oh my goodness. You're just like Shinji Ikari for real.
Yeah, I was about to say, you want
The,
to be baby, then you don't relate to him.
I got a show for you, Jockey Bacon. True.
I'm actually a Sonic fan and a Hedgehog.
Wow.
True. You did talk about Knuckles a bunch last time. I was listening to it before.
Knuckles.
Echidnas, they poke each other, and Knuckles.
And they
the
have
hedgehogs.
four-headed peni.
Yes, I am thinking of Hedgehog, and you did bring up the peni fact last time too. So
There you
my
go.
goodness.
You know me.
There's. Oh, I was going to pivot into something else. Or are we going back down to EliteAri's notes? I forget these things. There was a character I wanted to go to, but I can't remember who it was now.
All right, let's name every character, guys. Go ahead.
Shut up. Do we want to have the Oscar talk now? People seem to want to do that.
No,
All
we
right,
should
yeah.
talk about the Angel Boy.
Oh,
Karu,
Karu,
okay,
Karu.
we can talk about Karu.
The controversy about him being gay or not.
Oh,
So
yes, there's a big
he-
controversy. There's discourse online if Shinji is actually gay or if he just likes Karu. And this is a big thing where if you're a woke Evangelion fan, if you think Shinji is gay. Thoughts?
Okay, so
Why?
simply put, Shinji does have a thing for that guy. That 100%. It is so explicit
don't
that
they
I think
all?
it would be stupid to say that He does it. I mean, the reaction is it's so clearly.
It's the anime. If you
How
have
could it
rosy
not be?
cheeks, you like
How could it
them.
not be? How could it not be?
True.
Whether or not Shinji
Well, I guess
is gay is a different story.
But no. Evangelion is so, unconventional that actually when you see rosy cheeks in Evangelion in this one instance,
It means
doesn't
not
mean
gay. Not
It means
gay.
not gay, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, because it likes to, undercut all what we know about anime conventions because it's so smart and big brained, and you just don't understand.
It's a deconstruction, I hear. We should pressure EliteAri into giving an opinion on this because he definitely doesn't care. Go ahead.
On what? Wait, what? On what? Opinion on what?
Is Shinji gay? For just Karu or
Oh.
just generally?
Well, do we see him with any other guys? I guess with what's the
Not
older guy?
really. He has
Toji?
some
You only need
Kagi?
one. Well, this is
Yeah.
not how sexuality works. He's bi.
True, he's not going to be attracted to all
Yes.
boys,
Because
EliteAri.
he definitely
I'm not
is.
attracted
Right.
to all women.
It's
Well,
not like
I mean-
he's attracted.
I am.
It's not like he's not attracted to women. He's very clearly has a problem.
Well,
with
okay, here's a
women.
reading. What if he's only attracted to Rei, and he's attracted to this guy because he looks like Rei?
And
There we
Oscar and
He seems
Misato.
pretty attracted to Oscar a lot.
Yeah,
Oh no, but
And
but like
Misato at certain points.
No, but wait. What if he's only attracted to his mother, and because Rei looks like his mother, and then this guy looks like Rei? It's like a
True.
whole. There's like a whole story there, which
And
I don't
that's
relate to
the
because
way
I don't
shit.
like this story with the mother stuff. But yeah,
True,
Very
EliteAri doesn't like the
Freudian.
mother stories.
Well, it could be
The,
that Shinji thinks he needs to. Well, he clearly likes Karu in a very
He
different.
says he
way.
loves Karu.
in a very
Yeah.
different way from the way he interacts with women, and I think it's definitely a comfort thing. He's more comfortable interacting with a guy, but
They had a bath together.
does he
No, that's
think
just a Japanese.
is it like compulsive his response to women because he believes?
Well,
I don't care. He clearly likes
true, absolutely.
that's it.
But I think the thing is like, is he just so desperate for somebody to like pay attention and like him that he would even
It's
like
also
a
true.
boy?
He
A
could, he definitely could. He would accept this kind of treatment from literally anyone. He loves being praised, and that's it. But
Yeah.
he also wants somebody who is like kind of superior to him. He kind of really seems to like that.
To
so
guide
he-
him more.
So
So
yeah,
He's a little
exactly. He finds Karu to be like this, like kind of fascinating person.
Karu's got
who's
all the
got it
answers.
all.
He's so confident.
He's got all the
He
answers
knows what to
exactly.
do.
So he's like completely infatuated because Karu is so far beyond
Well, that's-
him
and not pathetic.
and not
that's
pathetic.
true.
Exactly.
That's one of the like things that's initially like very like suspect about suspect about Karu, where it's like he seems like specifically engineered to be exactly what Shinji wants, and it's like, this doesn't seem like Evangelion. So obviously that's like supposed to play into the twist. But in the end, he actually does love Shinji, and he like is like, Shinji, I'm gonna let you kill me and defeat the angels so you can live. Because and maybe that's the end point for the angels, they just wanted to relate. And when they discovered and they spent 17 times trying to understand humanity, they came to the understanding that they love Shinji Ikari. And maybe Shinji should love himself if this spiritual alien psychological menace can love Shinji. Why can't
Yeah.
Shinji love Shinji?
I'm glad
Oh.
Shinji took his time to think about killing him.
that was
True,
really cool.
he took his time.
Yeah,
It's
it
such a
was.
cool
That
scene.
was
I love it.
such a long
And the
shot.
elevator scene too.
Wait, sitting on that frame
Yeah,
at the end of that episode, we're happy about that.
I love that.
It was
Yeah,
pretty
me and
running out of
Ari are
budget.
obviously happy about that. Yeah.
Yep. I was sitting
That's
there. I
the
was
type
like,
of
"Oh
shit
my
we
god,
love.
what's he gonna?" Because I also didn't remember what happened, but I was like, "I know that this guy has to die." But I'm just like, "What's gonna happen?" He's like, he's just sitting there, he's thinking, like, what's
His
going through
head
their
falls
minds?
into the
Like,
LCL.
I'm like,
yeah,
somebody's
freaking
clearly
crazy.
padding out the episode length here.
It
They're
yeah,
was
with cool
they're-
Oh,
stuff.
you want to
they're
be
like-
a pussy about it?
It's crazy.
with cool stuff like nothing.
Nothing. Oh my
It's
god.
like you can.
It's
you can-
anticipation made real.
Ari, is when you realize you have to have a 24-minute video, and so you just extend the JPEG
I would never
on
do
your
that.
background
We
to
don't
fill.
care
Actually,
about
that is very
EliteAri.
real. Yeah.
Have
True.
you ever seen that tweet? It's like I was watching Better Call Saul and I accidentally paused on a frame where
Sure.
Bob Odenkirk was just sitting there, and I thought it was brilliant. That's genuinely what I thought was happening to me.
Yeah.
I had to check if I accidentally paused it.
Yeah, that happens.
Well, the music was still going.
Because like you could
so-
hold the frame like that, but the length it was held for was clearly we gotta make
Well,
it. to
put
the
it
end of
this way:
episode.
that is a director's cut episode, and they kept it in when they could have cut it out.
Yeah.
And same with the elevator scene. So it's clearly an
Yeah.
intentional choice.
Wait, what was the
Yeah,
elevator?
Well, no,
scene?
the elevator scene is so different. It has a completely different.
Well, when
vibe
Ray
to
and
it.
Oscar are in the elevator and it's just going.
Oh,
up
I love that. I have a note on that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah, that.
All
that
I
scene
can
is
think
great.
about is the eye patch wolf video.
Yeah, Super Eye Patch Wolf made a video about how that scene is actually great because everybody thinks it's just padding, like Jockey Bacon and It's Mia.
No way.
Wait, which scene? The elevator
Miss Eddie,
scene?
like, wait.
Well, you haven't given your
Yes,
opinion
I'm
on
saying
this one
that's
yet.
good.
I've not even
That-
said, I've not even said I disliked either of these padding.
When Jockey
I just said
Bacon
it's
says he
padding.
hates it, just like he's about
Because
to.
I'm
we all
not-
know.
There is
I actually
so
don't
much-
mind that at all.
There's so much being said just in the silence of the elevator scene.
Yeah, when
and there's
Shinji's
kind
thinking
of
about crushing Karu's head, so much being
nothing
said. I
being
agree.
said there. There's nothing being said there. Besides the fact that
I
he's
mean,
hesitating.
no, you got it completely wrong. Like, if there's one you're gonna dislike for padding, it's the Oscar one. Obviously, Shinji is thinking
Wait,
about
what?
whether or not he's gonna kill the love of his life.
I don't know about this.
But I like
But,
both
like,
of them.
I think the only reason
I
that
don't
scene
know.
works with him holding the angel guy in his hand for so long is because it is the last scene. I guess maybe it works because I knew what was happening afterwards, which is like I know that the last two episodes are like very different. So this is like a transitional
True, it is,
moment
like,
of
the
like, yeah, of like this is the last time we'll see these characters or whatever. But maybe if you don't know that, I can imagine it being a very different reading. Yeah.
I guess that is
Alright,
a
let's talk about the
good
elevator
point
scene
that
then.
you're literally about to. This is about to be the last like cohesive plot point before things kind of
Yeah.
go to a very metaphysical area. So I mean, I could see that. I suppose.
Before it gets bad, you can say it, man.
Before it gets bad. Well, there's a lot I like about those last two episodes.
But you dislike most of it. There you go. Don't worry, you already said it.
Well, okay,
You can't take it back
Don't fall
now.
for
Hey, that's my
Jockey
position.
Bacon
I'll hold on.
pivot.
I'll hold
Yeah.
off till we get
Yeah.
to. I don't know. Is this the right time to talk about how I feel about the last two episodes, or is there a better time? we're coming
Well,
to.
do we want to talk about that or the elevator scene?
Let's talk about the elevator scene first, because that's on the topic.
Yeah,
of-
okay.
Oh, can I say
Holding-
something
holding
first,
a-
though?
Yeah.
Can I say something? I like in the elevator. I'm being positive. I like in the elevator the latch for then turning the floors where it clicks. I like that. That was cool.
Oh.
Mechanical elevator
Sure.
design. That was cool. I also like the other elevator that they put their cars on. They go on sideways. I don't know
True.
if that's really that good, but I think it's cool.
Yep.
True. Mia?
What? Weren't you going
Well,
to
you
talk
were
about the
gonna
elevator,
elevator scene.
scene? I thought you were
Yeah.
going to talk about the elevator scene. I liked it.
No,
I
I
thought,
think the elevator scene's cool.
All right, I can talk
Yeah,
about
I
it.
just
Kind of
thought-
mind on it.
I just thought there
They're
was
very
a,
mad and they're very
there-
awkward at each other. Well, Oscar's very
Yeah,
mad.
yeah,
Ray doesn't
exactly.
really give a fuck.
That energy is speaking a lot, and there's also like
And then
sound
Ray starts
design
the conversation.
going on
It's
there.
so
Yeah, Ray starting the
interesting.
conversation. Yeah, exactly. How that silence is broken speaks a lot, and there's sound design. Like the correct me if I'm wrong, but the scene where he's holding Karu and we freeze in that frame, it is like completely silent, right?
Well, the music is going, but yeah.
Music is still going. Okay, okay,
Yeah, it's the height of the that one.
okay, okay.
You know that one.
I just felt that with the elevator scene, the sound design going on in the background kind of makes it feel like it's still, I don't know, the scene is still kind of breathing in a way that I felt the Kaoru scene was
Oscar
not.
does blink a few times too.
Yeah,
So there's some
she's
movement.
alive.
True. Karu wasn't. He was fucking dead. Well, not then, but in a second. But okay, true.
It was just not static in the same way. That's
It was.
my thought on it.
There's also, I guess, the other version is like from the first group of episodes when Misato is staring at Shinji at the train station.
Yeah, no, that one was also that was more comparable, I would say, than
It's
the
like
elevator scene.
it's like an Ava trope. But yeah,
Padding for
cool, I
time is
guess.
an Ava trope. I totally
that's
agree.
a trope.
I totally agree.
All right, what were you going to next? It was
The ending.
was it the last two episodes? I think so. Mia, you had something to say, I think?
I thought there was something else that we were going to first.
Oh, Oscar. Wait,
But,
did we talk about Oscar?
We didn't really.
We didn't talk about Oscar yet. We can do
can
that
get
if
to
you
it with
want.
the character rankings.
Let me see if I have.
Do we? I feel like we should do it before the character rankings because then it'll just get like
It gives context to the character rankings.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We'll probably do the tier list right at the end. Now, quickly, you guys are either going to pause the recording or find something to talk about for a minute and a half while I switch and pee. My goodness.
Yeah, let's
What a
pause
great
because
idea.
I do
Alright,
want to go
alright.
pee as well.
We'll be back, guys.
Oh, my goodness.
You're gonna quiz me on Oscar EliteAri, my goodness.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I was just curious because I know Asuka's one of, if not your favorite character of all time,
Number one, baby!
which is very surprising.
Is it
to me.
genuinely your favorite character of all
Yeah,
time?
it's very
I know, because
Absolutely not even
you're-
close, will never be altered. Roger Sterling from Mad Men, not even close. Captain Flint from Black Sails, not even close. Rei Ayanami, not even close. Casca, Revy, go ahead.
W-
They're all
Because-
kind of the same character if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait till you see Mushoku Tensei season.
I love Eris. He's my favorite
Three.
Mushoku Tensei character.
No. You've not seen nothing yet, mate. I'm right.
True,
Ari.
she was in the
True.
poster.
Ari
She's coming back.
Hey, well, you know what? Let's Asuka. So, okay, it truly is baffling to me because to me, Asuka's a very like mundane kind of like I feel like I've seen this character a million times. There's not much to her. I find it very
She was
simple.
the first one. You know.
I don't relate to her that much.
There's no
Like,
Sundays before Asuka.
Yeah,
I
it
I've
is,
seen that
invented in
Dingy Bro video,
1995.
Jockey Bacon. I probably showed it to you, so don't throw the facts back at me.
So
That
what do
was
you
a
like
joke,
about
everybody.
her?
She wasn't the first one. Oh, EliteAri, take a guess.
I would have to, okay, here's my guess. You like that she isn't honest about
She's
her
literally
feelings.
me for real.
She's
Oh,
hot.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah. She
Not that at all. Yuck.
Yeah. Well, what else is there? That she not honest to her feelings? I don't know what else. I don't know what you would like about it. That's what's so baffling to me.
She's mean
Oh,
yeah,
Jockey Bacon's getting them.
Yeah, I guess.
and she's hot because she's mean.
No.
Wow.
We disavow 14-year-old girls and thinking they're hot, unlike Jockey Bacon, who is a big Mushoku Tensei fan. Let the record show. Now,
Wow.
I mean, it's the character archetype I like and everything, and I think it's like the best version of it.
I'm more impressed that you haven't seen something that is like iterated on it that you've liked more. It is interesting that you like this version of it so much, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, Captain Flint came close, EliteAri. My goodness, was he a fella?
Hmm.
But this is kind of hard to talk about probably in totality. We would
Yeah, sure.
probably have to wait till next
That's
week.
okay. We can do that.
Or whenever we do it. I mean, it's very relatable. Again, I watched Ava. I didn't think Asuka was like the best until I had watched it probably twice and thought about it a little bit. I think she's just really cool, bro. Like her introduction, I really like. I like the big personality, obviously, and I think it is just a relatability thing at the end of the day.
Do you think it has some part of it is that it is the context in which she exists in, which is that she is very different from all the other characters? Like, do you think that same character in another story
Maybe.
would like as much?
No, because I like my favorite episode is the Asuka Mind episode.
Interesting.
I did really love that episode.
I really like the imagery. I like the honesty a little bit. After I love the very, very harsh difference between what she wants and what she's saying, and like the very big like walls she has up to deflect from it, to the point where she's going to insult you even if you like realize what she wants and try and make you break to prove that like she doesn't deserve it or something. There's I don't know, it is a very similar thing to like it is most of those characters. Like Revy is exactly like that. Like the whole point in that Revy video, the tangent one, is that like Revy won't like accept that obviously she wants to be a nice girl with nice boy Rock. And then like she makes Rock into a not so nice boy anymore and she wants to kill him because she freaks the fuck out or whatever. And it's like she completely has made her bed and she has like pushed for this at every point verbally, but she the whole time wanted something completely different. And maybe she didn't even realize it. And that's sort of like the Asuka thing with Shinji. That is funny though, because I did like Revy before I liked Asuka, so it's like Revy is the original and Asuka is like the iteration that I like more. But I also don't think I was self-aware about why I liked Revy when like I first watched Black Lagoon when I was like 12. There's another thing where it's like I don't know, and Jockey Bacon has talked to me about this before, but that's kind of how I be sometimes. So the relatability aspect in that, but there's also a pinpoint moment where I remember realizing that about myself, which is also intertwined. and it is also intertwined into that Rock and Revy video, where there's the tangent that's very clearly about a personal experience. I think you remember this, EliteAri,
Yeah.
in this video. Should I explain that, or should we move on?
Go ahead.
Where do I even start? There was a girl I was very in love with in grade 12. My goodness. English class, we sat next to each other. She was an anime
So you're
fan.
like
Can you
17,
believe it?
right?
We would have been 17 at the time. You're catching on, Jockey Bacon.
There you go.
We're gonna unravel this, and it is gonna be because Asuka is hot, and that's why she's the best. That's it. We're getting through the episode 25 mindset thing here, and that will be the conclusion. Just like Misato for real. Maybe I should like her more. Anyway. Oh, EliteAri, she used to have a little Bakugo thing on her school bag. She liked Bakugo. You love that.
That's crazy that existed
Anyway,
when
at
you were in
some
high
point-
school. Wow.
Yeah, true. You're so old, EliteAri. Kill yourself. Anyway, at some point she like called me a tsundere, and I got like mad about it. And then I realized, because I feel like I would self-awarely like think like tsundere's like stupid until that point, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm like clearly hiding my feelings from this girl who I neg constantly, and this is like I'm literally the archetype. And that's the tangent in the Rock and Revy video about how like, oh, I'm just like Revy for real, and like I just want the nice rock boy or the nice Shinji boy to like me. And obviously that's the Asuka thing. So that's probably why I like the archetype so much. Now, differentiating, why is Asuka more than Revy? That's an interesting question that I've never actually thought about, except it just is.
Because you're a pedophile.
No, it must be. That's the conclusion.
There you go.
It's the hair color.
Possibly, it's orange. That's cool. But Revy has cool tattoos, EliteAri. What do you think about that counterexample?
I don't remember a single tattoo on Revy.
She's got them all on her arm, I think.
Okay.
It's true. Look it up. I think just like, I don't know, Evangelion is more funny. That probably helps too. I like funny things. I don't know. Asuka is like a power fantasy at points where it's like she's going to say, fuck you, and then she's going to go and be the best, like in Magma Diver or something. Maybe that's why I like that episode so much. There's other things
the
like
only
that.
time she does that.
Well, Jockey Bacon, next week,
She kind of
I don't know why EliteAri's giggling. He is allowed to giggle at that. But next week we can have that conversation, I suppose. I mean, the two best Asuka moments are in the movie, so...
All right, we'll save it for next time. All right, I think I get the gist of it, okay?
Yeah.
We'll
She hasn't done the Gynax pose yet, so I don't care.
True.
That is true, and that is coming. Now, Oh, because you said something earlier that was interesting, but I can't remember what it was, because it was about this.
Who, me?
Oh, because when I was like, I think I was just repeatedly saying, she's just like me for real, and you're like, no, obviously not, or something. So explain yourself, EliteAri.
Dude, I don't think I said that.
God
She's not like me, I can tell you that.
Darky,
I don't relate to her.
Darky Bacon said it can't just be that.
That's right. That's that. But I think EliteAri said something else.
Oh, maybe.
I don't remember. But true. Do we want to go through more characters like this, or do we want to reveal the tier list thing?
Do I have anything about Asuka? I guess it's
true.
all
I should
pretty.
quiz everybody else.
It's all pretty. I don't know. If I started just repeating all these points, it would kind of just be like episode 25. So.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Wait. Wait. Got him.
Oh, this is. There's an interesting thing about because Ari said this earlier, where he's like, he doesn't relate to the parental thing at all, and that is true, because that is not something I relate to at all either. But that's obviously like a big thing that like everybody cares about, like pleasing their parents or being recognized by their parents, and that's obviously a massive thing. And there's like the documentary Anno did, where he was kind of talking about his dad a little bit like that everybody interprets as like, see, Anno's dad doesn't like that he's an animator, and that's where all this comes from, or something. So I guess, EliteAri, is that what you thought about that? Is just like you didn't care about the pleasing the parents thing, or is it because you have such a good relationship with your parents or something?
Well, yeah, I don't have any. It is funny to me when, like, I think I don't remember when I watched some reaction from Blind Wave, and they were talking about how, like, do you know anyone who has a good relationship with their parents? I was like, yeah, I do. Like, is that like a thing? Like, do people not have good like, isn't it? Like, I don't know. I don't have any issues with them. My parents are great.
I feel like everybody's very dramatic when they talk about their relationship with their parents, where it's probably fine, but like when you are asked about it, you're just like, my stupid mother, she just doesn't understand, etc., etc.
I've never
Um,
thought that about
the
my mum,
formative
ever.
nature of whatever
I'm
dynamic
thinking it right now.
you have.
But it is true because I have like the parental hatred thing a little bit. Bacon, we talked about this one time regarding The Sopranos and the lady that is my
Yeah.
profile picture.
Yeah.
Bacon was like, oh, in my Sopranos video, I talked about how the lady in my profile picture was Tony Soprano's mother was like deeply relatable to me, and like their relationship is very relatable, and their relationship is very, 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 very toxic. Where it's like she can never be pleased. She tries to. I mean, I guess spoiler alert. I won't continue that one. We're gonna do The Sopranos after this, everybody. I guess I can't go down that road. It's a very toxic relationship. It's like the conceit of the first season of that show. And Bacon was like mortified that in my video I talked about how relatable this was to me, and he was like, I could never imagine like my mother being like this or being this toxic or something like that. So it is interesting to me that I have the parental hatred, but I don't like disappointing my mother. Like if my mother didn't like my girlfriend or something, this would be the greatest, like, oh my goodness, this is the greatest thing of all time. They can fight and like I can just sit there and be like the center of attention while they fight over me, and it'd be great. But I know a lot of people, they'll like break up with like their partners if they don't get along with their parents or something like that. And that's like a very common thing that people complain about. So it is interesting that I have the first aspect, but not the second aspect of this. It sounds like Bacon and EliteAri don't have any.
Someone that I did not think could work well in my family.
Oh my God! She better kill my mother. Goodness gracious me, that would be the greatest thing of all time. But it is interesting. I don't think EliteAri would say that. I think EliteAri would say, I don't care. But
Wait, about what?
EliteAri, that's your cue to confirm.
Wait, care about what?
If your girlfriend and your mother didn't like each other, would you break up with the girlfriend?
Yeah, I don't care. It wouldn't bother me even a little bit. I don't really care.
They can love
her, they can hate her. It doesn't bother me at all.
True.
I exited out on that.
Yeah, I guarantee you that's the case. It doesn't bother me. What my parents think about my like relationships and friends and all that.
I go back
mom
home during Christmas and stuff and holidays?
No, I go like I've gone like 2 times I think since I moved out. I don't go much, but I love my family. They're lovely. But like my life is my life.
True. Based. Anyway, Mia, any commentary on parental relationship?
I don't know. I feel like we've gone on such a tangent. I don't even know why this is a point I'm bringing up, but I feel like if my mom hated my girlfriend, like there must be something explicitly wrong already.
Yeah, with the mother, she's no good.
Oh my God.
No, like my mom is like the kind of person to outwardly hate anyone. So if that was happening, there must be red flags I'm seeing.
Where are these mothers coming from? Let me tell you something. My mother doesn't like many people. I'll tell you that much.
My mom.
Me too, brother. Me too.
Right, anyway, about the
but yeah,
the other element of the parent stuff in the show, which was weird to me, is the whole like Misato and her dad and seeing her dad in Kaji or something. I didn't understand any of that. It was like I was like, is this like a thing?
Well, this is a thing girls say all the time. Their boyfriends are like their dads or something, and it's like a Freudian thing, right? Everybody wants to fuck their mom, except it's the dad version.
But I've always found that to be like
the girl version.
Is that that's like based in like pseudoscience and stuff?
There's definitely a thing where you're like, well, my girlfriend does have some traits that are like my mom a little bit, and you seem to gravitate to those. I feel like that's a descriptive thing that I've noticed in people I've dated. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not unfounded. Eva is certainly not the first to state it.
This is another thing that's like a massive part of Sopranos season 1. But yeah. I don't know.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, interesting.
The people seem to
think
of
how my girlfriend is like my mom.
Have fun thinking about that, Djokovic. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That is an aspect that I do find. I do like short girls a lot. It's a little weird. But
okay.
Right.
You mean like
you like Oscar short? Yeah.
Langley saw you, Dad.
Crazy.
All right.
Okay, that's the parental.
Wait, I actually have another Oscar. Wait a minute.
You guys are too weird. Ari doesn't have a relationship with his parents, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, I love my parents. They're great.
He does.
And Carl has a toxic relationship with his parents, so that's
just one of them.
Just one of them. Okay, nice.
Let me tell you, my father's not a big fan of my mother either. So that means we win. That's 2 against 1.
Oh my word, I'm dying here.
But you know what's funnier about that assessment is EliteAri's parents. Well, I don't know. My docs at EliteAri here. I was going to say EliteAri, is it public knowledge that your parents are divorced?
I think so. I think I talked about that in some video, didn't we? In some discussion.
Well, yeah. Well, my parents are not divorced and they don't like each other. So, well, they never got married. But let's not dox everything here. But
I feel like I did know that, but I forgot about it.
Them still being together would probably elucidate some of this and the toxicity that's about. But continuing on.
All right.
I see. Yeah, because you've got your genes of not acting on things that you know you should happen from your parents.
That might be the case. Oscar Langley Soy would have that.
Yeah, there you go.
EliteAri had a note on Oscar.
I do. So my main, I said at the beginning in my like overall thoughts, which is that both Shinji and Asuka, to me, they feel very, either I'm not understanding them, which is very possible, or they just feel very simple to me, which is like Asuka wants someone to pay attention to her and like praise her and stuff. And she like hates Shinji for outperforming her and like people paying attention more to Shinji than her. And she hates Misato because like Kaji likes her and gives her attention instead of Asuka. Like to me, this is like Asuka. And to me, it's like very simple, which is fine. Like I don't have a big issue with it, but it's like we're having internal monologues about this very simple thing, which goes on for quite a long time. And Shinji's a very similar case as well, where I might be misunderstanding him, but my understanding of Shinji is he like kind of hates himself, and it's very similar to Asuka. Is like he wants people to praise him or like pay attention to him and stuff. And this is like to me very simple, but I could be off about it.
Well, I think that's right. There's just like an extra layer where it's like Asuka is like mad at Shinji for like outperforming her, but she also wants Shinji to be like strong for her. So she has like contradictory motivations.
Yeah, okay.
And I think the same thing about is true about Shinji, where it's like Shinji wants like people to be nice to him, but he also like wants to stand out in certain ways and get praise. But if like everybody was just overly praising him, this probably wouldn't fix his like internal desire. So I think it's like there's an extra layer to each of them. Then with the Asuka thing, there's also like, I guess with both of them, and I think this is more a thing in the movie, is there is just like a strong suicidality to both of them, where it's like, it might just be that they just want to like destroy everything and kill themselves, where it's like an extra like, even if they got the things that made them happy, they would be still very upset, or like, it's like the Denji thing, where it's like they would just want something different now. But they both just want what's like absent from their childhood is kind of like the base thing. But that's also especially for Asuka, it's in direct contradiction with how she like acts, which I think is more interesting. I guess. But that's my defense for why they're not simple or something. I don't know. But
well, okay. One thing
like
you said,
bro.
like kind of related to my only point I have about Asuka, which was, I think this was amazing. I really like this moment. I don't exactly remember what episode. Oh, I actually have the episode number here, episode 23. It's when this is like after she's had a whole like psychological breakdown, I think. And then the next episode, Rei, that's the one where Rei sacrifices herself, I think. And she has a moment when Shinji gets sent up to like save Rei, and she says to herself, I wrote it here, what the hell, they didn't send him out when I was the one who needed help. Yeah.
True. What a great moment.
And it's incredibly sad for like multiple regards, which is that
because Gendo doesn't give a fuck about us.
The first thing is I think it's the complete opposite to me, which is that she doesn't understand. She's not understanding in that moment that Shinji isn't being sent out there for Rei. Gendo is sending Shinji out there for Rei because Gendo cares about Rei. And it's like she's reading it as though it's like, oh, like we need Rei because Nerve thinks that Rei's more important, but it's purely Gendo is the one doing it. And it's really sad because she's misreading that. But at the same time, it's also the fact that she wanted Shinji, the person who is the reason she is suffering right now, which is that she thinks he's being praised more. She was wanting him to save her, which is like the irony of the situation where she both hates him and also wanted him to save her. And it's like, wow. So this line, it got to me where I was like, oh, I thought like I didn't really like Asuka that much before it, but she says that, and I'm like, man, there's more to her. There's
also
contradictions.
There's like a meta thing that like resonates with me, where it's like I feel like Ava is talked about so much as like Asuka and Shinji, and for them to be like Asuka is such like the third girl in those like few episodes, and it's like fascinating to see like they are sending Rei out, like Shinji out to save Rei, who's like this character that isn't as important or something. There's something like, it's like how it resonates with like how Asuka has fallen or something, and how like she is just like completely useless towards the end. And this actually does tie into like the femininity thing a little bit, because she is on like a period at that time, and there's like a commentary on that where it's like she has the line where she's like, I don't even want kids or whatever. And it's like these things that she's forced to do biologically that seem like they don't serve her or whatever. So it's like the thing she supposedly wants, like her emotionality doesn't serve it, right? If she deeply down wants Shinji to like comfort her or whatever, but she's outwardly so pushing him away. It's like, oh, this is like another like thing, like her personality to her is just like something she doesn't even think about. It just happens and it like undermines her in every way. I don't know. That was like, I did really like that line, especially this time. But anyway, true. Oscar
right.
or something.
Yep.
My goodness. Is there any character we haven't talked about too much? I really like Rei. She's like my second favorite character. Spoiler for the tier list.
Favorite
I
character.
like how
Sure.
in episode 25 when we're going through Rei's psyche, I like how
Sure, yeah.
she's kind of interrogating everyone, but she's interrogating herself too, because there's the whole multiple Reis thing, and you know everyone else has this I don't know dependence on the opinions of others in a way that I think Rei kind of doesn't.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's the great moment where the angel like becomes Rei and tries to talk to her, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
And I really like the imagery there of like one's like slightly elevated above the LCL and one isn't. There's a million little pieces of Rei characterization that I really like that are really like make her seem more nuanced to me a little bit, where it's like, I think last time it was the thing that she doesn't eat meat, which seems like that kind of fits with like a clone character for me for some reason. It's like, oh, because she's like grown, she like has empathy towards animals or something. And then there's the thing where she blushes a lot when Shinji implies that she would be a good mother, when she probably can't be a mother, I'm assuming, because her body wouldn't like last through the process. And
I think that's
she's like,
she like looks like his mother.
well, that is like an added thing to that later, but that doesn't have anything to do with like it resonating with her, because Rei feels like she's very emotionless most of the time, right? So when she like has a moment of emotionality, it like stands out a lot. So the fact that she seems to have never thought about the concept of being a mother, and the fact that it like makes her blush and stuff, and she even has a funny line to close that thing where she's like, "What are you even saying?" or something, and it's like almost sassy, and it's like, oh, this is like crazy. This is super cute. There's also the scene we talked about a little bit earlier where she has the talk with Suzuhara, where he just like repeats to her a bunch, like, it's obvious that you like Shinji, and she tries to deny it almost at the beginning, which is an interesting thing for her to like try to deny her feelings and almost in an ask way, and then she's like, you might be right or something, and she's like thinking about it. There's another moment where she says thank you for the first time to Shinji after he cleans her room, and she's clearly like a little insecure that her room was dirty, and like she's a little embarrassed, which feels crazy for Rei to be embarrassed about something. There's all these little bits that I think are really cute about Rei, that resonate in her general thing. It's also super interesting to me that when she dies, she like looks back dramatically and she only sees Gendo. She doesn't see Shinji. Obviously her relationship with Gendo is very, this is revealed in like episode 25, where it seems like she does have some resentment to Gendo. Like it's another parental thing, right? Gendo is clearly like a parental figure for her, and she seems to have some resentment towards him. But she also has like a very strong love for him, which is why she like thinks about him and not Shinji right before she died. Because the way I had remembered it, I thought she like thought about Gendo and then Shinji. And then interestingly, when Rei 3 first goes to the apartment, she like grabs the glasses and goes to break them, but then has second thoughts about them. So there's like a bit of Rei hating the parent thing too, which I think is interesting. I don't know how I got to talking about all the little Rei things. Oh, I also really like her existential monologues where she's like mountain, trees, or something, and then it's like all the imagery. That's like I think it's the first part of episode 14 that isn't recap.
I did not like that.
That's like one of my favorite scenes.
I
That's
actually
like
quite like that recap stuff, which is kind of weird.
It's a really cool recap for what it is.
I just like the lack of music in it. I thought that was really cool. Just like having those sound design really stand out there. That was fun.
And it has like the different characters giving like testimonials about like what they know, because the recap is like wrong in certain places.
As a operation report.
It's like I think it's really cool. But true. Rei is cool. I like Rei. She's my second favorite character. And there's still stuff to come on the Rei front, if you can believe it. My goodness.
Wonderful.
we kind of talked about everyone. We kind of talked about Fuyutsuki. We talked about Gendo a lot. We talked about Asuka a lot. We talked about Shinji. We talked about Kaji. We talked about Misato. I guess Ritsuko is another interesting
I have
one.
one note
where
on
she
her.
is. Go ahead.
Ritsuko is the most easily hateable character.
My goodness, you take that back a little. You love the
I mean, she is
Ritsuko
though.
here.
Obviously Gendo I hate with the most like passion or whatever, but Ritsuko is I think the most consistently the character that I hate. Mainly it's because she's like
Ritsuko
going
is a
against
victim of
Misato a
Gendo.
lot.
Fuck Misato.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a strong reason for it, but I did find that the case a lot.
Well, Ritsuko is another one that hates her mother, kinda. And she like is very upset that she's clearly made the exact same mistake her mother did, which is like falling for Gendo, even though he obviously doesn't care about her. Which is interesting. She like has the scene where she breaks down after she kills the Rays, and she like wants to die. There's also the scene where she realizes she's been sold out by Gendo over Ray, which is exactly what happened with her mother, where like Ray was clearly her favorite, and she was like, "Oh, Gendo calls you an old hag all the time when we're alone," and stuff like that. And then she freaking killed Ray. She choked her to death and then killed herself. It was crazy. Because she was so broken up about it. It's also an interesting detail that Ritsuko has red hair, but she dyes it because she doesn't want to be like her mother.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, it's all cute and cool. True, I like Ritsuko. Anybody else got anything to say about the great Ritsuko? A great character who EliteAri hates for no reason.
I don't hate
unfairly.
her. Well, I said she's hateable. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to figure. I was trying to think because she was always talking about like what was it? Oh, like so when Asuka's on her period and she's like, oh, bodily functions don't have a difference to the
don't affect it,
data.
but they obviously do, right?
I think it's also like she's very mechanical and practical.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting that in her, she actually probably wears the most makeup out of any of the female characters. So I thought,
yeah, they make a point of that where she's like putting it on a lot.
Oh, is she? Okay,
because she's put her lipstick on a few times, I think. It is like because I made a video about that one time. I think the episode 2 video I made was about how Misato has like all the emotional exposition and Ritsuko has all the like Ava exposition.
Yeah.
And it is like Misato is obviously like the emotional one who's like, we need to save the pilot, and Ritsuko's like the practical, like we need to save the Ava type. And because they're like best friends or whatever, it's like a bit of like juxtaposition between the two of them. But true, they used to be college friends. Can you believe that with Kaji? And Ritsuko thinks she's just a silly girl for going to have sex with her boyfriend for a week. And
there's
a bunch
also,
of stuff like
that. There was one scene where they didn't draw Kaji with his stubble when he's older.
When he was younger, yeah.
No, when he's older.
I don't remember.
Like it was like, and I was really confused. I was like, "Wow, he's handsome." I was actually surprised how much of a difference it made. It was like a reflection of the glass when he shaved that day. Misato. No, because this next scene, next frame, he had it.
I think Bacon is saying it's an animation error or something.
Yeah, but
no
it was
way.
kind of cool.
Impossible.
Yeah, but true. Remember they went to a wedding one time, and Ritsuko tried to warn him to not keep investigating Nerve, but he kept doing it, and then they shot him. My goodness.
Yeah. So do we know who killed him? Because I assumed it was.
It's implied to just be Nerve, like a random security guy, I guess.
All right. Well, I don't know
why.
Me
and Minchi had a conversation last night about how. Hold on, you're probably about to say this, but how he originally thought Misato killed him.
No, definitely. What? I don't know about that. I don't think I got that impression at all.
He does have a tendency to end up with a gun behind people's backs, but
yeah, true.
But she never kills anyone, right?
No, I was
not yet.
So I was confused though because he sent a different message later to her. So I thought he was dead, but then he had another message to her. So I thought then maybe
I just assumed while he was on the run, he was like sending multiple messages, but then died.
Well, he also sent her like the little tablet thing, right? And that had like a different like data chip in it that had like all the secrets.
Yeah, but I assume that was off a while later. That was like a month later, right? So.
Yeah, I think so.
So then I was
I think it might just be a thing where we didn't hear the whole message until like it was appropriate for the dramaticness of the scene or something. I don't know. But what were you saying, EliteAri? Who killed him?
Oh, for some reason, when I was watching, there were like two theories. The first thing that came to mind is that, it could be like a SEAL operative or Sele or whatever operative. But the other person I thought was, was it Ray? I don't know why that like came to my mind. I was like, I guess maybe Ray killed him. But I don't. Maybe it was like something in the episode like hinted at that. But I don't know. That's the thing that came to my mind. But yeah.
No, I've never thought it was Ray.
All right, there we go.
I don't know. But true, Kaji freaking died, and we all cried.
I don't actually remember him literally dying. I remembered him disappearing, like running away.
Well, there's a scene where he's like in front of a fan, and he's like, "Oh, they sent like you're late or something," and then there's a gunshot, and it cuts to black.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Yes, I do remember that. Thank you.
And then Misato cries to the voicemail, realizing that he's dead.
But he does say,
You actually
if I see you again, I will say those words I would have said to you 8 years ago.
"Oh, fuck." ECU's gonna say, "I love you." And then I think she does say in an internal monologue that she like accepts his love or something. So isn't that cute?
Mm-hmm.
Do we reveal a tier list now or something, or do we want to go into something else? Anything we've missed? Should we run through miscellaneous notes and then do the tier list? What do we recommend?
Do we want the tier list to be the last thing, or should the last thing be I guess
let's run through miscellaneous notes
going into End of Eva?
I have
Should I hold off on?
Okay. We'll do predictions after the tier list too.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Me? About my
EliteAri?
note? Well, okay, my big note is more
yeah.
about the ending. Because I talked about how I liked it a lot, but I didn't really talk about what I like about it, which is probably a bit uncommon, I would assume. I don't imagine most people like what I liked about it. Now,
I am so special.
Because I am incredibly special.
He is.
Yes.
Leave him alone.
Because the final scene is like, it is baffling to me because I really didn't like those last two episodes. I was very bored, and this is going to be so sad for anyone who hears this and knows the context, but I was reminded of Garden of Sinners, where I was like, that epilogue in Garden of Sinners was terrible. And this episode gave me that energy, basically, where the point is, like, it's a lot of, like, philosophical, like, we're talking about psychology, we're doing monologues on random abstract stuff, and I'm like, I don't like any of this, really. And then Shinji has the scene where he like has the alternate reality, and I'm like, oh, this is like kind of cute. And then after that scene was the one where I was like tearing up. I'm like, oh my god, what's happening here? Why is this getting to me so deeply? And there's like multiple reasons for this. One of them is it has something to do with I mean, obviously the message itself is like kind of very simple, and I like it. Like, it's a good message about how like Shinji realizes that he doesn't have to be who he currently is. He can like choose who he wants to be. Like, that's very simple, and I like that. But I think it's also the fact that he's seeing all the characters, like literally, like basically every character in the story, who are like speaking to him and all giving advice to him, even though they themselves have their own problems and they haven't figured anything out. But they like enjoy giving advice to him because they can all relate to him. And I was like, this is like super cute. And that got to me a bit emotionally, where I'm like, everyone here like has their issues, but they're like still happy to help him because they also relate to what he's going through. So that was like the second element to it. But then the real element that like got to me a lot is kind of what Kyle was saying before, but like I don't take it as far as he does. But this is pretty much the only thing that really gets to me, where I'm like, man, this is really good stuff, which is the final moment after all those characters have talked to Shinji and given advice, and he has the realization, is like, oh, but I hate myself, whatever. And then he like has the big breakthrough where like all the glass is shattering, and then he breaks through finally. It's the like the escalation of the music when he's getting excited by the fact that he thinks he can change his like reality. And it's like it's the incredibly relatable feeling of like thinking that you're in a depressed mood, but then you go from that depressed one to one where you're positive and you feel like, oh wow, there's so much potential in my life, and like there's so much I could do now. Like it's that shift from negative to positive, the sudden shift, the shift that is accompanied by the escalation in music and the lifting of the mood that happens. Like, it doesn't matter what he's shifting on. It doesn't, like, I don't care about his character or what realization really he comes to at all. Like, that's completely irrelevant to this feeling. It is just the depiction of the feeling of going from depression to like hope. And that's what really gets to me. Regardless of his character or anyone around him or anything like that, it's that feeling. And it's like really, like, I've never seen something like this, and it really, really gets to me. So, yeah.
I like that they played the OP in like a different form. And
yeah.
every time they played, it was a Fly Me to the Moon as well in the OST. That was really good as well.
Amen.
Don't worry, they didn't hear it. Jockey Bacon, remember these two swines?
Yeah, we hear the
watching on
great
Netflix.
ending from Netflix. We hear Ray 2 or whatever the song is. I have no idea, but
I think it's Ray 1.
Ray 1. Yeah. Lovely song.
Ray 3, obviously the best OST of all time, and I don't think it's ever used in the show, but it was number 1 on my list. I think it's used for like 40 seconds in End of Ava, though, so that's very exciting.
But there is one more thing actually I like about this, which I haven't said yet, which is that.
Wait, I had something to say about what.
Oh, wait, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, it's funny because I totally understand the mood you're describing, but I never related that to that moment, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a wacky thing. I've never even considered that, but that is what that moment is. It's like the moment where you're like, man, it's going to suck going to work tomorrow. And then you're like, oh, yeah, there's that thing that's going to make that not so bad. And, you know, that thing I was worrying about wasn't actually a thing. And, you know, there's like a path forward now. But I never got that from that moment. So, my goodness. But keep going, O'Leary.
Well, my last thing is that, so I was amazed that I couldn't find anyone talking about this on like Reddit. I'm sure this has to be something that people talk about, obviously. Like there has to be video essays on it or whatever, but I couldn't find anything on it, which is, to me, I like this a lot, which is that Gendo and his mother aren't clapping for him. Everyone else is clapping for Shinji.
Yes,
but his parents aren't. And I'm like, this is, to me, like my reading, this is just my reading, and it would be very tough to change my reading on this, but I'm sure a lot of people have readings on this, which is that everyone else is kind of impressed or surprised that he kind of changed and was able to do it, and they like say congratulations and clapping. But to his parents, it was like they always believed that he would do it. Like they always knew that like this kid will find, like he'll come to this realization on his own. They kind of had that faith in him, so they didn't.
They
need
do
to clap.
say congratulations.
Well, yeah, but it's the fact that the way they look at him when they say congratulations to me is very different than the way everyone else does, which is that everyone else is kind of surprised and it's like they seem very knowing and like they're aware, they always expected this, and it's very cute. But no one, I couldn't see anyone mentioning this. I'm like,
image.
yeah,
that to me felt more like like a welcome home, like we need you to get here, kind of vibe.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a certain parental pride. It definitely comes off differently, but I do think it is. I don't know if it's that they always. I mean, yeah, no, I totally agree. Never mind. I have no complaints.
Wonderful,
beautiful.
All right, there we go. That's
I
it.
didn't catch that. I didn't catch that detail that they weren't clapping.
Yep.
Okay. I was scrolling while I was listening to that, and I found a very particular little note that I think is interesting, and I never would have remembered to bring it up. But there's one time where Shinji's feeling really good, and he's on the bus, and then he sees like 2 little kids giggling at him, and he gets really depressed. And I thought that was a very cute scene. But I was just scrolling, and I saw that. So, Bacon, you were going to say something?
Oh, okay. There's one scene. I feel like maybe it's an Ava, but what's the name? Fuyuki. The second Futsuki. I feel like he had a conversation with Shinji on a bus once, but I could be wrong.
I think that's not in there. I think that's in the next one.
Okay, cool. I was wondering if it was in the director's cut, and I watched like the first time without realizing. Cool.
In my head, that's a rebuild moment, so it's interesting, but it must not be if you know about it.
Yeah, maybe it is in both. So.
Yeah, that's probably true. There's some wacky Futsuki stuff in those rebuilds, just to tease everybody. Do we want to keep running through some miscellaneous notes and wrap those up before we keep going? Or you want to go run through yours?
Wait, Mia has some miscellaneous
or just the rest of your notes? All right, we can go to Mia earlier if you want to be so gracious. Mia?
I liked the conclusion. I think Shinji's conclusion here is really good, and it doesn't feel like well, okay, my biggest complaint with the last 2 episodes is that I felt like it was reiterating on things that you should have already gleaned from just all of the episodes that came before. And it feels like it almost takes away a little bit of your ability to read these characters and interpret them when so much starts being explicitly stated to you. So I found that frustrating, but directorially, I really liked a lot of this. I liked the way that we transition from each subject to the next, because like you start with Shinji and then Asuka's coming in, like critiquing him, and then it transitions to her because it's like, oh well, you're not perfect. Yeah, I thought that was really fun. I
love
really
the little
moment.
The light turn on things, or it's like and then it's like like Ray is standing behind him. It's like so good.
It's really great. I think all of that is really good. I just wish I wish it felt like it was bringing more to the table, because it felt more like it was telling me the things that I had already gotten from what I was watching and making
It
things
is,
a bit more explicit.
yeah. The interesting thing is, like, even more so than the plot, a lot of people say that, like, the resolution is really confusing. So it's probably to,
So
yeah, it's probably to, like, get to those people, because that's like a lot of thing. Like, a lot of people, like, Evangelion, bro, didn't know what was happening, but bro, they look pretty. Is like a big, like, Ava, like, fan thing to say, or like it's very confusing. Like, there's like 50 different video essays like trying to explain the thematic message of Ava or something, and they've all got
That's
different
crazy.
things, and it's like, yeah, and it's like nobody understands it, but this is the first time in my video essay now I'm going to explain what Evangelion was talking about and what those characters were about.
that's nuts. Because
And it
you can definitely
feels,
say that you're not following the plot, because
yeah,
they dump a lot of exposition, and it's all kind of given in a very vague way, and then a lot of things aren't explicitly answered. But when it comes to what is the ending saying, they spend 2 episodes saying everything in the most literal way possible.
yeah, it's a funny thing. I think people just get confused by the method of the last 2 episodes, which is funny because you're explaining it as like an explained video essay basically. But in the end, that direct method might have been a little confusing to people. It is interesting. This is actually the Miller the Killer position on this, where he always says, like, if you don't understand Ava, you're literally brain dead retarded. And it's funny because he says that because he's being a contrarian, because the stated position is so to the opposite, and because that's what he likes to do. So Mia, you've got one ally in Miller the Killer there. It's
Good.
funny.
Yeah,
But
no,
I do really like, because I was concerned that half of this discussion was going to be like it was just confusing, whatever happened there type thing. But we really haven't said that at anything. But the plot at the beginning, that's like the fun, confusing part. The thematic confusion part is not fun at all.
Yeah, I
So
don't find it confusing at all.
very
I think this last idea that how do I put it? Like, you are defined by the people around you, and because of that, there are just infinite possible versions of you. So if you don't like the current version of you, it's very easy to become redefined if you leave yourself
yeah,
open to it. Because Shinji says, like, he pilots the Eva because that's the only way for him to stay who he is, but he shouldn't stay
yeah.
who he is because he doesn't like who he is. But he's afraid at the idea of not having a sense of self. But then the ending is to say that without other people, there is no sense of self because you don't have anyone to compare to. Your mother is the first other. I like that.
That's
that line.
the name of that OST track too, and it's so good. What a cool phrase. I love that shit. Also, the metaphor of that being that this show could be a different slice of life anime, and that's like a different way of like the different versions of you could be, is like a great metaphor. I think I really like that.
There's
and
one
also
line
it shows.
in there that go ahead.
No, well, I was just gonna say, and it shows that all the characters are like, some of them are very different. Like Rei is very different in that, and Gendo is very different in that kinda. And it's like these characters could be different too, and it's like I like the doubling down on it. Also, in that, I love the little detail that Pen is like is on like his desk. He's like a little clock or something.
Oh, cute. I didn't realize that. Yeah, good point. I like
But
that.
yeah, keep
I
going.
thought it was funny that Shinji's like one of the boys in there because
True, and he wants to fuck Misato, which is different from the show where it's just the two of them wanting to fuck Misato. But he's like, "Oh, Misato, so hot," and he's like,
because the fact that he sees her as a maternal figure kind of changes his ability to perceive her.
And Misato's just like encouraging them to fight, and he's like, "Yeah, Asuka, like beat up."
She's a terrible teacher. She's as bad as a teacher as she is as a mother. She said she is not built to be an authority figure.
Yeah, I think that's part of the point there. It's great. But yeah, I also like that that's all on like the world in which Shinji is like completely alone. Like when he accepts instrumentality is like this sound stage, and it's like an empty one, and there's like tape on the floor, and it's like I don't know. I really like that imagery. I honestly don't really know why, but I think that like resonates with the point quite well. And like all the lights are pointed down and they're not on. It's like an empty stage where like anything could happen, but nothing is currently happening because you're choosing nothing to happen, I guess.
I think that actually hits on why I do like these last 2 episodes overall, because I feel like despite the kind of reiteration, I think the presentation of it is so inspired and clearly has merit to it. I guess, meaning to it, that I'm able to accept it, and I'm able to still enjoy coming to that conclusion at the end. So yeah, I do think I land more positively on the last 2 episodes overall, at least. I guess it's the way I feel left hanging that still feels disappointing, and
Yeah.
but knowing again that I have a movie to
Yeah,
go
very
here.
different knowing that there's more to come, where it is probably exactly like the type of conclusion you would want, where it's like the characters
Yeah.
and stuff. It's very
But
different.
again,
Like I
though,
could definitely
I would
understand
also
being mad
Mhm.
if you didn't,
Yeah.
if you thought like this was it.
So if this was it, I think what I would think, I don't know, I would probably be a little fascinated at the idea that if that moment with Karu was the last time they gave plot answers, if I would think, wow, okay, so they confidently believe that they have given you enough to piece all this together. It kind of feels like a challenge almost, where you're kind
Yeah.
of left with all the pieces, and it's like, okay, like what do you think is going on? I think there's something to be said about taking that approach, but when I know that this movie exists, then that's when I think like, okay, they just didn't give all the answers yet.
Well, it's
And
also the thing of like,
yeah.
again, the preview for episode 24 shows the fight that's in End of Ava. So it's very clearly like, this is like a pivot they did when they,
Yes.
like a mind was changed and they changed the title and then they changed like a lot of the ideas of what it was going to be. And I think maybe the idea was to just distill it down to its very thematic essence, because like maybe for Anno or the creative staff, like that was the point of the show, was to like share potential happiness with people. But obviously a lot of people are actually going to be very invested in the story and the plot and the characters, and to just sort of like kind of like give brief shots of something that seems to be happening and then like not doing that is definitely going to lead to people being upset. It's a very experimental decision. Just briefly on the thing we were talking about, like another example is like when they like distill animation down into like its basic elements, where it's like the squashing and stretching thing, and Shinji like becomes an egg and then a bird, and there's all like the transformation little pieces of animation. So it's like, and because they're talking about like Shinji's like the basicness of human psychology or whatever, and then there's like the perspective thing, and it's like, oh, you got less freedom now that you've got a thing to walk on, and he makes like goofy little walking sound effects. All that stuff is really cool. I love a lot of the art there, like just the different versions of Shinji you see, him just sort of flowing, and then there's like the paintings of like Misato. I think I made that my media checklist image, where it's Misato, Rei, and Oscar all standing over him as he's like punching a ball, but it's like a watercolor painting. All
That's
that
the stuff
is
that
really
makes
cool.
me think it was not a budget, or even, I don't even think a time thing, because there was a lot of effort put into the visuals. I mean, maybe they were just trying to make up for the fact that a lot of the episode is reused visuals. In a good way,
well, it's
by the way. I actually like that.
Especially 25 is a lot. 26 is a lot of new stuff, because there's like the sequence, but even in the different like the alternative anime sequence, like the Misato car thingy is like a reuse bit. So there is some reuse there, but it's
But
definitely more in
needs to be,
25 than 26.
so you can see all the
It makes
differences.
sense. Yeah. True. There's a lot to like in those last 2 episodes. Honestly, I have like no thoughts about like it as an ending, because it really just like it's all I just watched End of Avery immediately afterwards, so I didn't like sit with it or anything. And
I did find it interesting at the end of episode 25 when they're talking about Shinji wishing for a world where he's the only one there, or it was something along the lines, a world that is comfortable for you and only you. I thought it was interesting that I think Misato said it to him, said like, this is one possible ending. It felt very meta, that like there are kind of multiple endings to Eva. At least my understanding is that there's multiple endings, multiple ways you can view it.
Yes. Well, we'll see about that. There's also an interesting part at the very beginning of episode 26, which is actually something I didn't remember, is that it says that it's now 2016. So it implies that Shinji has been in like this state for like
for at least one day,
like months or something. Well, yeah, true. It could have been 2025 and now it's 2026. But I like the implication that it's like this sort of instrumentality thought process thing took him like months to think through. And then he decides to come out of it. I guess it's all very vague in the show, but there is like mechanics to this that we will see fleshed out. So that's interesting. But I guess we'll come back to that actually. But yeah, there's a bunch of little things at the beginning of well, a bunch of little interesting text pop-ups in the last 2 episodes. True. Oh, Mia, we were going through your miscellaneous notes. Was that the first one? Oh my goodness.
We've kind of hit a lot of this. I think a lot of my notes come down to plot things I was writing down, of like things I was curious about that don't feel answered yet. So I feel like that would kind of go into the predictions.
Yeah,
angle.
we'll talk about that. EliteAri, is that
All right,
does that
let
mean we're on to
me.
your
I can quickly go
miscellaneous?
through them because they're not too much discussion points. One is that I like the Well, I don't know if I like this, but it is interesting that Nerve's public knowledge, and when I say public, I mean like internal knowledge that they share that isn't just like Gendo's like secret knowledge, like the public knowledge within Nerve about the angels progresses in a very weird way to me, where it's like initially it feels like they don't really know much at all, but then as they go on, it feels like they're learning. They're like they kind of understand the motivations of the angels, but I feel like I haven't understood anything. But it feels like the show is like implying that they have. And then at some point, this I was able to rationalize by the end of it, but I was a bit confused where at one point, there's the Shadow Angel which absorbs Shinji, and then the episode afterwards, Misato is being questioned by Seal, which is what I'm gonna call it, okay, guys? And then during that conversation, they're like questioning Misato, and they're talking about how like, oh, is the Shadow, is that angel trying to communicate and understand human? And I'm like, what? Where did you get that from? I wasn't getting that at all before this, but I guess it makes sense because they have more knowledge about these angels or something. But
well, it's also like they kind of know the truth too because Kaji is kind of telling them, I think.
Because he is the mole
like,
that they've been talking
yeah,
about.
Yeah. Well, he's playing both sides, right? And that's why nobody like saves him in the end.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Oh, an interesting aspect is the one of the 3 computer guys, or one of them's a girl, is like helping Misato a lot towards the end, and is like hacking things for her, and clearly has like a crush on her, and she's like, as long as I can die with you, Misato, I'll die here or something. And it's like very clear that she's kind of like manipulating him into doing what things for her. So that's a little plot detail.
But she is apologizing for it.
True, she does, but she's still taking advantage. My goodness, these ladies, you can never trust them.
That's right. The scale, I like the scale, which is depicted when Unit 1 goes berserk, and you see it from Kaji's perspective, and it's like looking up, and like they're fighting in front of him, and it's like, whoa, this is like some good scale here in terms of seeing how big these Avas are. So that was really cool. There's
you don't really get much of that.
True.
I was just agreeing. You don't really get much of that like in motion.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of it in like inside of Tokyo 3, but
that is true when you see like compared to buildings and all that. Yep. For my great director's cut watches here, 16 minutes into episode 21, which is the backstory episode, there is what I would have to assume is either an editing mistake or like they cut out a scene or something, because the music transitions really weirdly. So I guess go check that out one time. 16 minutes into episode 21.
I didn't catch that.
I do not remember.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, unless it's just like a weird track that like changes up midway through or something, but it felt really weird. I was like, this is a strange thing. But yeah. What else have I got?
You know, this is just a brief aside, but Minty had a whole conspiracy theory last night about how Film Buff was faking his reactions because he like could point out every time which scenes were like added in the director's cut. Not that he ever said that he knew that a director's cut existed, but every time a director's cut scene would come up, he would comment that it was a little weird. And that was very funny. That was the fruit of our conversation last night. Yes, what we have to take away from this is that Film Buff is an observant genius and can tell when a scene was animated a year later and added onto something.
And one day he'll react to the final episode.
True. Didn't he react to the final episode?
Nope.
It's just End of Ava we're waiting
for?
No,
he's got 26 he has to react to. One day.
My goodness.
Unbelievable. 3 more notes. One of them, we've kind of talked about this, but Kaji's complete disinterest in Asuka. I love that. That was really cool. Then... Oh, this is also a thing where I had a realization, like similar to what Mia was saying about Adam and Eve and all that. But also, I might completely be wrong about this because this is not as obvious as that. But is the place called Nerve because it has to do with like will and resolve and all that? Like, oh, you have the nerve to do that, which like ties into like the will
Maybe.
to do things. And I don't know. It was something that crossed my mind.
What's interesting is that they had a different name for a long time, where it was like Gerham or something, which I assume is some
Yeah.
Bible shit. Bacon's ears. Just
I don't
perked up.
recognize it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's not.
Could be, but
But
I don't
Nerve-
recognize.
Nerve is like Nerve also has the tagline, right, or whatever. God's in his heaven, all's right with the world. So I don't know if that's a Bible thing or if that ties into anything. Or it's just the coolest line anybody's ever uttered in their freaking lives.
True.
But Nerve, true. There's no E on it, Leader. You got to remember that when you're typing it out.
Well, it's just a bad subtitle writers. Is the word Nerve ever show up in the actual thing? Maybe it does. I don't know. I don't look on screen.
Well, yeah, it does. It's on the logo. It's got N.
Well, it's
and
because
the
they
V is
don't,
big.
you know, the Japanese, they don't know English correct. They're spelling out
The Japanese are stupid. EliteAri's racism strikes
No,
again.
they just
My
don't know
goodness.
English like I do. Third children, right? But framing, what's my
True.
other note? Oh, I like in the flashback. I love that flashback is framed through the professor's perspective. That's really cool. Like you could have just
He got
done it through like
kidnapped.
Gendo or something, but
Yeah.
it is a cool perspective to see.
Well, it
it
keeps
through.
Gendo mysterious.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And it is because like you do see this guy
What
for the
an
majority of
episode.
the show, and he doesn't really say much until this episode where you like learn all about him, and it's like super cool.
Yeah.
And then my final note is I'm scrolling down. In episode 20, the freaky, injured, smiling Unit 1 right in front of Misato is really creepy and cool. So yeah.
Oh yeah, with the padding all over its face.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. There was one thing I wrote down then, which is just that the Lance of Longinus or whatever is in the lunar orbit. That was pretty cool. And will that come back in the movie? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
But
but he mentioned needing to like the fact that it was removed from Lilith was
yeah,
an important progression.
for his plan, but
For
Seele
his
was not
plan,
happy
yeah.
about it. Yeah. There's and that's a cool thing. Like Rey kills like two angels back to back, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure she's never killed one until that point, but she kills the one with the lance because Shinji's not allowed to be deployed at that point. And then she kills the next one, and then I think the next one after that blows her up or something. But it's cute that Rey gets some kills at the end. I had forgotten about that, so that was cool.
I did
I'm sure
notice
she threw that lance.
with the lance that when they removed it from Lilith, it started
It
kind of
grew.
immediately producing I guess regenerating is what I got from it. So I'm
Yeah,
under the impression that when they take pieces from Lilith to use to make an Eva, they're able to essentially, it's like a regenerating resource that they can use, and they keep the spear in to prevent it from
yeah. It's like
empowering
holding it back
itself
or
too
something.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the vibe I got. So that spear clearly has some kind of effect on an Eva's ability to I don't know. It's clearly like it would be very lethal to an Eva. That's what I would say.
Well, we'll have to see about that, huh? Was that the last note? Did you say earlier?
Yeah, last note that I have questions, but that's it. Oh wait.
Mm.
Sorry, wait, I also have 3 notes. Which is they're kind of nothing. Wait, let me read. A hallelujah thing I talked about. Oh no, we're good. That's it.
True.
I do have
Okay.
one miscellaneous note that I forgot to mention.
Okay, go
Episode
ahead.
16. I immediately noticed when the episode started, it looked a lot more grainy
Oh, yes.
than the rest.
Yes. That it's like damaged or something, and they don't have the original episode.
Whoa.
Like it's like a
that's
thing.
bummer. Okay.
It's another
I
little
wasn't
thing.
sure if it was an artistic choice because it did feel like it was kind
It's
of
only
told
really
at
at the
different
beginning
quality.
where it's really bad, where it's like washed out and like bright. But yeah, this is like a Ava Law thing where this was one of the things Minty said, where he was like film buff immediately noticed that and like commented about it.
Well, he's a film buff.
Okay, so yeah, film buff has eyes.
True.
Yes,
crazy.
apparently. Well, I had never noticed that. That was like a thing I learned like after my 7th rewatch or something on a YouTube video. So, but yes, that is a piece of law that.
Well, I
Like
was
the beginning
watching
of that
it in
episode's
beautiful quality on my big TV from the great streaming service we call Netflix.
Absolutely.
So I was able to clearly see a difference in quality.
Maybe one day EliteAri's great AI program will be able to fix this for us. And
Oh,
we'll
it definitely could.
be
You could do it
and
right
it'll-
now. I promise you. They definitely could.
Mm,
and
my
everyone
goodness.
would hate you.
Yep, that is
Yeah.
true.
But
I don't-
EliteAri,
yeah.
he would
I
love
like
it. Now,
graviness.
speaking
Guys, I fixed Evangelion.
That would be a good
True,
YouTube video.
that's like a
oh
really
my
not
god.
Mark video title.
Holy.
Yeah. The just on AI very quickly, EliteAri, last time you said you were asking ChatGPT things
Oh,
to
yeah.
clarify things about Evangelion, but you didn't want to say what they were for fear of spoilers. Can you now reveal the things you were asking ChatGPT?
Yeah. It was basically it was a bunch of questions specifically about the intentions of the angels and how they differentiate from
Interesting.
humans. And like I was trying to clarify the difference between, because I knew in the basement there was the Adam who's not Adam or whatever, and I was like trying to understand like, what's going on there, because I knew it would become like a plot point. I didn't want to get confused when I got to it. So I was clarifying a lot of that stuff with the angel specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's one piece of information that's a big spoiler regarding the angels. So
I don't think I got it, but maybe.
okay, interesting. All right, well, we'll talk about that next time. Also, the last thing, just to follow up from stuff that we said last time, there was one funny moment where Mia, you said that you didn't think Shinji would tell off his father, and he kind of did that. So we're all
I guess
pointing and
he-
laughing at you right now.
He kind of did.
He threatened to kill him. He said, "I'm gonna
Yeah.
destroy you and headquarters, pussy. What you gonna do
Yeah.
about it?" And
True.
well, Gendo did something about
Then
Good
it.
he
on
went
that,
back.
Shinji. Good on that, Shinji. Then he went back.
Well, he had to. Kaji said, "You got to save the world." It wasn't for his father, okay?
Yeah, I have notes on that, but
It's for his sense of self.
yeah.
True. Do we want to reveal our character tier list? I'll point out that I didn't do the second tier list, so I only have the first one. So, whoops.
Wait,
All right, let's do it.
wait. One more thing, because I think this is something important to my viewing that I probably haven't mentioned much, which is that Ava. This is like something I probably mentioned last time, which is that to me, Ava is very symbolic and like abstract and all that. Firstly, it wasn't as symbolic as abstract as I remembered, or compared to something like Utano, which is like very abstract. But there is a lot of symbolism in this that I think never lands for me. Like I don't really know what Avas represent like symbolically, but they clearly do represent something. Like piling in Ava and synchronizing with an Ava. All of these are like symbolic things, and freaking out when like the Ava's looking at you. Like these are obviously like symbolic, mean something, but I don't know what they mean. Shinji, even like the thing
They're like scary.
Well, yeah, but they mean something. Like to synchronize 400% with an Ava, and for that to unlock the berserk nature of the Ava. Obviously, this means something symbolically. I don't know what it is though, and it just never lands.
I think maybe it's just the mother thing.
That's what I would think. Yeah, it's
like eureka or something. It's like when you're in tune and everything's working out or something. There is a little bit more of this in End of Ava, so maybe that'll clarify things a little bit. Maybe on that front, but maybe not.
Yeah. Okay, then my other thing about the symbolism is what we were just talking about Shinji running away, which to me, I'm very lost on what this represents, because obviously at like a surface
This
level,
is an interesting topic.
like this is meant to be, the correct thing to do is to run away. Like it is to distance yourself from the abusive situation, right? And the immature thing to do would be to stick around and hate all the people that you hate and to continue hating instead of getting away from it. But the show seems to be saying, or at least at that point in the story, seems to be saying that like because there's something only you can do, you should tolerate the abuse and you should stay there. And it's like to me it's a strange message, which I don't know if the symbolism.
I think this ties back into the parental thing where everybody's like, well, obviously you can't run away from your parents because they're your parents and you have to have a relationship with them even if they're toxic. So you should like confront your parents and not run away. I think that is the message.
Run away.
I think I think
feel like
most
it's
people that's just not even a possibility. So I think it is like, because I do agree that most of the time, like if this was a modern show, I think Shinji running away, it wouldn't be framed like that, and it wouldn't be the thing to do. Like distance yourself from the toxic people in your life. 10 tips how to do this or something. It's like a WikiHow article or something. But I feel like in the 90s, this is not like an idea that people had. I feel like it's like you have to do things you don't want to do constantly. It's like the virtue is in confronting them. And like, because even this is a thing in all of Shinji's internal monologues where they're like, did you really try to understand your father? And it's almost certainly morally not on Shinji to try and understand his abusive father. But that seems to be the message the show is conveying. So I do agree with this. I do think it is an interesting sort of like a thematic resolution.
Yep.
Me, you were saying something?
I never felt like the show was saying Shinji was wrong. All the characters were like giving him a hard time for trying to leave, but I never felt like the show was making a statement that he was wrong for it.
I think
I feel like
the scene
even just
that
the
really
framing of it running
Well, the scene with Kaji is that his name, Kaji? That's the one that really makes me feel like he's like, because Kaji comes across as like the guy who has all the answers or whatever, and he's the guy telling Shinji that he should like go back, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, he says he does.
No,
tell
but
Shinji it's
he's
his
mistaken
choice.
though, because he's mistaken or he lies because he tells Shinji he should go back because the world is going to end if he doesn't.
Well,
which he knows to be true at the time, but it's not actually true. Like,
I think that's a continuity thing. I think that's like, I don't think that's like an intentional thing. But that's just like my interpretation. Also, I'm not sure if Kaji would know that it wasn't going to end the world if the angel. Honestly, I don't even know what would happen if an angel got Lilith, because it's not the third impact. But I don't know what would happen.
Angels would cease to exist. That's my prediction. I have no idea.
Well, it might literally just be that like angels would become humans and like try to befriend them, because that's what Karu does. I don't know if that's like the thing, or if it would do instrumentality where everybody becomes one because that's how we originally were, and angels and humans were originally one thing or something. I don't know.
They do.
But true.
They do say a line at one point. I forget who says this. I just kind of wrote this quote down. They said, "One of the people we call angels." I found that very, very interesting.
Was that about Karu?
This was before Karu. This was right after the Asuka episode.
Interesting. I feel like I vaguely remember this line, but I don't remember the context of it. So I'm no help, I guess.
Well, I guess they referred to the angel with Rey, I guess. The angel that attacked Rey and technically Rey killed herself. They said one of the people we call angels. I don't know who said it. I have to go back and check.
Was it talking about an Ava?
No, I'm pretty sure it was talking about the angel.
Oh, well, there is kind of the Ava thing. We haven't really talked about this, but the like Ava being God made in like humans trying to make God, or like in human image or something, and then like dolls are humans making humans in human images or something. And there's like this all like ties together into like it's like a chicken and the egg. Yeah, it's like a chicken and the egg God versus human thing about like the differences, and like humans just want to like play God and create themselves through, and it's like, oh, in dolls and in Evangelion, which is like a human created God or whatever. Hold on, I was trying to tie this into what Mia was asking, but I've completely forgotten how.
Angels being
I'm not going to remember.
People. Angels being people, because they are from Adam. Adam is the first human. As
people are from Lilith, I think. That's why they're the Lilith.
The people we know as humanity is from Lilith.
But Rey is even from Lilith, so
yeah, and Karu's from Adam, as are the rest of the
Karu
angels.
is. Yeah. So I don't freaking know. We could go back and look, I guess, and maybe come back for next time.
Yeah, this is, I guess, going into the things that I'm looking for answers on when it comes to End of Eva.
Just because I don't recall doesn't mean they're not there, especially for this next movie. Let me tell you something that's a little dense. So we could, just because I'm not recalling doesn't mean it's not there. So have some hope, Mia. Have some hope.
I do have hope to an extent.
Are we going to do some tier listing?
Let's do it.
I already sent mine's, and mine's kind of been spoiled. Do we want to start with that one then? Or are we going to go through each of them individually?
We'll go through them each individually. I mean,
all right.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that big a thing.
All right. I'm revealing mine on the spoiler thing if you scroll up. It goes Asuka S, Rey S, Misato S, Ritsuko S, Pen, of course, S, Shinji S, lining out the S tier. Pen's cute, EliteAri, stop giggling.
Okay.
Then we got an A tier. We've got Karu, what a little gay boy. We got Futsuki, who might be S. You know, what are we doing in A? We got Gendo. Well, this is, again, just the original series, so maybe if the next movie was in it, Gendo would be an S. They got Ritsuko's mother and Yui. I like those characters a lot. Then in B tier, we got Toji. You know, he's kind of an annoying archetype I don't like too much. Same with Kaji, who is also in B tier. Then Kensuke, he's a pretty cool guy, but he's not focused on that much, so he's in B tier. Hikari, same thing. And then we've got Misato's new boy toy, and he's above in B tier because he gets more characterization than the other two. Now Maya gets a little bit of characterization in this upcoming movie, so isn't that exciting? And then we've got the guy whose only characterization is he likes the guitar, so that's pretty cool. And that rounds out my list. Now everybody else has done a list where they've included the angels too. Unless anybody had something to say about my list. EliteAri giggled at Pen.
It's a good list for you.
Oh, yeah. Bacon hasn't said anything in a while, so I think Bacon should go next.
Okay. Let me rip my tier list. It's the greatest. It's the greatest. Now, just to keep everybody in mind, I had to spread out over tiers. None of these would be actually S. Let's just remind you all. Yeah, my goats. I don't know. You guys pick out whatever you think is interesting.
He's got Kaji in S tier. A little embarrassing. Kensuke in S tier. That's an inspired choice. I like it.
What do you like about
And then his
Kensuke
favorite
so much?
angel. He's a
I
cool
just
guy.
I just like the episode when he sees Shinji in the woods.
Oh,
together
okay,
when she
okay.
First goes away. I like that one.
True.
That was a cool episode. And then your favorite angel is this one that has like the attacks, you
It's
know,
the
where
one
it like
that
shoots up.
actually is. It's just because it's the angel fight that was like the most consequential. I felt like so.
True.
Yeah.
He did fuck up Asuka and Rei real quick.
He's got his little paper. He gives everybody paper cuts.
Yeah, it's like a paper thingy. He shoots it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you like the
anything
angel
else?
boy so much.
He's a little game boy.
It's not that I like him so much.
I know it. Yeah. Well, okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Pen and B. Why?
I don't know. I feel like Pen could have been utilized more. He has small good moments, but it's like if I think of Pen compared to Ein the dog, it's not even comparable.
Oh my god.
So
true, I agree.
Frick Ein the dog.
Ein the dog is like so much more characterization. So for a pet character,
Well, that's definitely
like,
true.
it's,
But...
the fact that he's a penguin is
True. Ein does wolf when he leaves at the end. I guess he's better than Pen. I concede.
Oh, I just saw you have the eye dripping angel in A. We love that. Bacon you really like that one.
Yeah, drippy eye. I like that one.
Yeah.
And the cube or the
Ramiel,
Sure.
the only one we know the name of.
And I also put Ava Unit 1 in A as well.
Wait, I think that's Ava Unit 4, by the way. I think that's the angel one. Or 3.
Oh well, that was pretty good as well, to be fair. I'll keep it there.
I don't think any of the Ava units are on this tier list.
True.
Yeah.
Wait,
What
that's a
about-
good which is the best Ava? That's a good little question for everybody.
Probably Oscars.
Probably Ava 1.
Oh my god. EliteAri's just got the proper opinions.
I also go for Ava 1, I think.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Basic bitch choice. My goodness.
So Bacon, why is
Yeah, well,
Gendo
it's-
down there?
True.
Because he's awful.
All right, interesting. No, but is it because of what you were saying before, where it's
He's not hateable in a fun way.
Is that actually right?
I just find him a bit despisable. I don't know. I just find maybe I'm feeling the end of it. Maybe we'll get something, but it's just like, yeah, he's just a dick.
Yeah, true.
And that's basically it. I'm just like, oh, okay.
All right.
And then, like, most of these characters would probably be an F tier as well, but Asuka's like annoying and on screen all the time. So, she reminds me that she's annoying. If Asuka had less screen time, she'd probably be C.
A funny thing about this tier list I've noticed is that the image of the first Ava they fight in episode 1 and 2 is from the rebuild, so that's a big spoiler.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Because EliteAri
Wait,
definitely
which
got
one?
these from the wiki or something. It's in Bacon's B tier in the very middle. It's the angel from
Yeah,
episode
Oh,
1.
well, I got it from an
tell.
existing tier list, so that's where it came from.
My goodness. I think all the others are not, so
Yeah. So I might have to get my own.
And I think my memory of what was his name? Yusuke? No, what was the second in command? A tier?
Yutsuki, you nearly got it.
Futsky. Yeah, no, it's I remember liking him at some point, so I
Might be
kind of put
coming
on
up
there,
yeah.
but he might be end of Avering. Yep, there we go.
There's a possibility that scene you like is in Death and Rebirth, by the way, which would be hilarious.
That would be very funny. And very
I
sad.
don't think so, because I don't think I've seen that movie, and I feel like I definitely recall this scene you were talking about him and Shinji on a bus. So
Cool.
All right, who's going next? Unless anybody's got something else to say about the angel placement here.
I got nothing else.
Oh my god, who's going next? Pressure's on. Somebody make a decision.
All right,
Somebody
I'll
put
go.
their hand
I
up.
got this. All right. Let me send my list with my angels and everything. Sending right now. There you go.
I just saw it.
Wonderful.
You want to read it out, EliteAri?
All right, so we have in D tier, we have the two like people I barely remember, and I don't know a single thing they do except one of them is voiced by Dio, I think, from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes.
And one of them is gonna kiss Misato soon.
Yeah, true. So I don't care about them at all. Then we have Pen. He's just
Pen
basically what
here.
I just he just doesn't have anything interesting that he does. I don't know. He's a weird gag character.
He has fun.
No. There are a couple good gags, Ari. Come on.
Is there?
There are a couple good gags.
Well,
yeah, there's one where he just walks on by, and I thought he was going to be sad, but no, he
When
just
they're
goes
kissing,
right
true.
back into his,
Yeah, that
such a-
is true.
it's
That
so
is true.
cute. It's so cute that Asuka and Shinji have no idea how to kiss, so they just hold it for like 17 years, and it's not like they're moving or anything, they're just holding it. And Shinji is like, afterwards, he's like so relieved that he can breathe again, and Asuka runs off. It was what a very funny little, they have no idea what they're doing, but they're trying to be adults scene.
Yep.
It's the same episode where Kaji and Misato kiss, my goodness.
In C tier, we also have the 4 angels, which I think are the most boring, which is the underwater one, which was like, it's just like a fish or whatever. Then we have the ring in the air that I don't really remember doing anything interesting. And then
it
we
reminds
have
me of the ringworm.
the ringworm. What's that?
True.
Like?
The ring is cool because it like talks to Ray, but other than that, it's kind of okay.
It feels like it's going to go up your urethra.
Oh, okay.
My goodness
That
gracious.
didn't even
me.
cross my mind, but thank you, Bacon.
It
and
goes
then,
inside Ray's bosom.
I don't like the angel that was like shooting from the sky. That was like cheating. I didn't like that, you know. So we don't like that eye one in the sky. And then,
Then we lanced it. That was really cool.
No, not that
that's a
one.
different one.
The one that was like destroying like sending like nuclear bombs to the ground.
Oh yeah, this is the big one from 12, I think. Okay,
yeah, lame, bad angel. Then we have in B like all the characters which are like, yeah, they had like something interesting, but I didn't really like them that much, which is like the Ritsuko's mother. We got the only interesting like person in Central Dogma or whatever the place is called. The
We're going to
friend.
see this on the screen,
Maya.
right?
We're gonna what? See them on screen? Oh yeah, they will.
Oh
yeah,
but we
true.
can go through and-
You don't have to explain it all.
All right, let me see. Is there anyone baffled by anything here?
Hold on, I was waiting for EliteAri to read them, so now I just.
I guess
I
Why
was.
is there a really dark one?
Kaji. I was surprised Kaji was so high.
Kaji has
True, EliteAri likes the adults.
Well, I guess. Well, okay. Let me just go through my S ones. So yeah, Kaji, it is like the fact that he's always cool, calm, and collected, and also he seems to like have answers, even if he doesn't. I don't know. I just like that. It's interesting in the show where everyone else seems to be so like.
I think he's a breath of fresh air compared to the rest of the cast, basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I feel. And also, like in the scene right at the end of 26, where it is like every character is showing up around Shinji and saying a line. I don't know why his lines were like one of the best. I think. I don't know why. It wasn't like what he was saying. It was just like the fact that he was there at all was like kind of interesting to me, and he was an interesting presence. I don't know. But he is cool. Obviously, I like the girl from the school because of everything I said. Misato, I don't know, complicated, interesting stuff. Misato? That doesn't even.
No, he wasn't
He
talking
was
about
not
Misato.
talking about Misato.
Oh,
You
the
must
girl?
Shoko Tensei
No,
fan.
not even like a little bit.
Thou dost protest too much. EliteAri likes his girl.
It didn't even cross my mind. I thought you were talking about Misato. Even Misato, I wouldn't even say that.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Then we have the 3 angels. The white one that was really like cool and ominous, but I think it was only the director's cut apparently. But that was really cool. Obviously, Ramiel,
Well, that's
the best.
Adam.
True,
That's
Adam.
Adam.
Yes, we love Adam. Adam's super cool. He's in the opening. Yeah, I love when he shows up every time.
He looks like an Ava.
Yep. Ramiel
quickly,
obviously is the
quickly,
coolest. Go ahead.
You just brought something in my head. Isn't it cool that the shot of the Ava hand being like brushed from blood is like from when he kills Karu, and it's from the intro, and we see it in like episode 24 or something? That was a cool moment.
That's some deep lore that I'm not familiar with. My goodness.
Okay, whatever. You know.
Yep.
It was in the
Ramiel's
intro.
awesome. And then the Alleluia thing, that was amazing. And oh my god, I like it so much. That was really great. And then of course we have
that was cool.
It was,
Should
wasn't
rank
it?
that higher.
Yeah. Then we have the professor guy who is just super cool because he has a cool backstory. And then Gendo, who I mean, it's Gendo. You know, I just love how ruthlessly cold he is throughout the entire show so far. And I'm curious to see
Ari
what
likes
next
his
time.
abusive fathers.
You know, in this case, I guess I do. But yeah,
King Swen, Gendo,
Yeah.
Gambino.
Yeah, true. I don't like Gambino.
I think that last one's
Gambino. Gambino. Oh, he loves a little Gambino, doesn't he?
Absolutely not.
True.
But he's not childish about it, that's for sure.
Ah,
Oh, that was a great joke.
yep. So go ahead,
Okay, I
Mia.
think we're done with EliteAri's.
This is
Kind
Alright,
of
I
okay
think-
on the list.
All right, I forgot we were supposed to do this. I did this like just now as we're talking.
Awesome.
All right.
We did
So,
decide
I
this
don't
while
give
you were
a. I
sleeping.
think I need to rewatch if you want me to give a fuck about these angels. I don't care.
Whoa!
I took.
That's
I,
I was
gonna
gonna do that.
This
If
entire
I made this
show.
thing, I was gonna do this too.
I took the one angel I do like in the B tier.
The shadow one.
The-
Oh no,
Okay.
that one. Okay.
Well, okay, I
Uh-oh.
did-
I
I
realised
did
we had
roughly-
two simps in this call. Good
I
grief.
did. I
What is
did
this tier
roughly
list,
order.
Mia?
I roughly ordered the first few angels, like up to
Mhm.
Lilith. Basically, I ordered that because I found those interesting. The
Lilith
rest
is
I
pretty
did not
cool.
find as interesting.
Interesting.
I don't care about Shinji's friend with the glasses. Sorry, don't care.
Kensuke, the great Kensuke.
True.
Yeah, I really don't care. The two
'Cause
computer
he's not
guys
hot.
also don't care. Kaji, hot take. I find you're right. He's a good character. I find him insufferable every time he's on screen. So he's below the one angel that I did like because that was the best
Valid.
angel encounter.
Amen.
Pen deserves to be high. Shinji and Kaoru got to be together, of course. Computer girl, she's a girl, so I like her more.
Yep.
Toji's an incredible character. I really like him.
No, not so bad.
This is as high as I'd put him for the amount of screen time he has, but he has really good moments. Ray,
Oh my
I need
goodness,
more.
Green.
I need more from Ray to really like
No,
her
you don't.
more. I don't know why she
not
hasn't hit
true.
me.
False.
Like the professor guy. Like him a lot. But whatever. S tier. Gendo's good. Gendo's awesome. I want to know more. I want to know more about him. I think he has really good moments. Honestly, he probably should be higher. Ritsuko's mom. I think this character gets a lot of great stuff for the limited time that she has.
True.
And it all
And not
sticks with me.
Toji. This is unbelievable here.
Fuck Toji.
Toji's fine. I just think Toji's stuff doesn't make him interesting. It's just sad.
Mm.
In a good, it's good plot.
That's every
I find
favorite
Ritsuko's mom
character
actually
ever,
an
though.
interesting person. Well, let's not go there. Class Prez, come on,
True.
love her. I think she's fun. I like every scene she's in. She has nothing to do with anything, and I find that endearing. Asuka is the best of the trio as a person, as a character.
Oh,
Not as
what a
person,
truthful statement.
terrible person. Most interesting of them, I think. I guess Ray is more interesting, but I don't know enough about her yet. Then top three: Ritsuka, Misato, and Yui. I love that Yui. I think Yui is like one of the best used characters.
True.
I think she's awesome.
Mm.
And yeah, that's my tier list.
He doesn't say a lot, but the implications are fascinating.
Maybe I fell asleep during this discussion. This is an awful tier list.
Wow.
What, my 5-minute tier list isn't good enough for you?
No, because you. Oh, anyway.
Who got snubbed?
Mia's got the
Who got
second
snubbed?
best tier list here.
Who got snubbed here?
Well, everyone's
Baker
too
doesn't like
high.
any of them.
Yeah.
Well,
Everyone's too high?
Everything's relative, but yeah.
True.
Ari's got the best.
The,
tier list, though.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's not true. The
Carl's.
Okay, so
I've known Carl's tier list for like 5 years at this point. And it's not changed.
I'm pretty sure if you go to my Ava tier list video, it's probably exactly the same as that, and I didn't even reference it. So,
Wow.
what a time! I think I probably got comments on that video because I didn't like Kaji very much. So, the boys on the internet, they love Kaji. Alexander made a big video about how much he loves Kaji, and then everybody
Really?
followed suit. So,
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
he said he was like his idol or something. It was pretty cool. The
That's very funny.
the last thing is predictions, I think, which is a kind of a mere exclusive segment. There are, which we have kind of refrained from talking about too much, there are some shots that imply some things happening in those last two episodes, including two of our favorite girls getting shot, And I think there's one other thing that I'm forgetting, where we're shown sort of just the general establishing shots of Central Dogma, I think.
The class captain high school rep gets shot.
No, I don't think. Oh, true. Good one, Jockey Bacon. You nearly got me there.
Did I
but
lose internet?
Uh-oh.
Mia, you're back? Are you listening? Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
This is the Mia exclusive segment. We can't have this.
All right, you want me to run through some
my
questions?
prediction is that...
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. EliteAri, we got EliteAri's questions.
No.
Mia will come back. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Back and go.
oh.
Is
I
Mia
think I
here?
lost.
Mia, Lee Vinland Saga?
Welcome back.
Oh, my God. We can hear
Go
Mia.
ahead.
Can Mia hear us?
Yeah, I hear you. We're good.
Okay. All right. I was pivoting into you doing predictions, but I
Rockin'.
think EliteAri's questions should probably come first.
No, they were like filler questions to fill time. It was like,
Oh.
yeah, like for instance, what's with Rey in the tube? Why is Gendo standing in front of it in episode 15? Stuff like that, you know?
True. He's checking on her to see if her body will be maintained.
Yeah.
Is that not the dummy tube?
Oh, actually,
Well,
it might
no, the
be.
dummy tube is connected to that tube. It's that's not it.
Mia, list your predictions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yes. Okay, I can hear you now. All right. Yeah. Well, predictions, not really much of anything. More like things I'm hoping to get answers on. One thing I found very interesting is that the Sele logo is on Lilith's face.
Lilith's face. True.
Yes, found that very interesting. And I mean, I guess it's either they made their logo after Lilith's face, or they put their logo on this thing that they created. It's kind of one of the two.
I think it's the first one.
Okay. Got it.
Right.
What else was that? I guess I already
I have
talked
some
about
leading questions if you want some.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Well, I don't know how much of you heard of this, but this is the setup, so the audience is maybe hearing this for a second time. There's shots of Misato and Ritsuko seemingly being shot.
Yes.
So do you think those are literal? What do you think's happening there? Do you think
that was my interpretation as I was watching. I figured it's either a thing where it's like, again, one of the possible realities, because this was while they were talking about the world where Shinji is like the only one left, an ending where everybody dies. It's one possible ending. So it's kind of literal, and it's not like it. If they didn't touch on it, I wouldn't be like, what the hell, you know? But because again, they've already set up this idea that there's infinite possibilities of things that could happen. So I'm not really, in terms of like literal plot happenings, I'm kind of not expecting anything specific.
Interesting. I guess a good thing would be that like End of Ava starts exactly where episode 24 leaves off. So
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I was
it
gonna
is
ask,
a very
actually,
literal continuation in that sense.
do we have to, like, what are we going into this? Do we assume the plot is at that episode, like the end of 2024?
Yes, I think that's the best case. Well, I guess this is a thing. Like the first half of Ava is set up like there's a title screen that says episode 25, and it's called Air, which is what the preview of 24 said 25 is going to be. And earlier I made a joke about a credit sequence. It's because there's a mid-credit sequence in the movie. So don't turn the movie off 45 minutes in when it cuts to 6 minutes of credits and the greatest song you've ever heard in your life. Then it starts episode 6, which has a different title that I don't remember exactly. And then so it's formatted to be like the real episode 25 and the real episode 26, I guess, is what you could infer from that.
Wow. Okay.
They're both a lot longer and much prettier and very segmented and
wonderful. That's all we need to hear. Say no more.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You already watched the movie.
I barely remember it.
But yes, it will pick up. Like I'm pretty sure the first shot is like Shinji talking about how sad he is about Kaoru. So that's the case. Actually, the first scene. You remember that, Jockey Bacon? Anything else, Mia? Any other predictions?
Let's see. Things I want to know about. There's still a lot about what Gendo's intent is, and I feel like that's kind of the one remaining, the big remaining piece. One, Gendo's intent, and two, just the nature of how all of this started. those are both kind of in the air, and I imagine that's what a lot of people wanted answers on.
There's also the plot thread of
one thing. There's one thing that was mentioned in the flashback episode, the big flashback episode. Where is it? I think Gendo says that like Tokyo 3 was left behind by someone else. Like they kind of found it the way it was.
yeah. No,
That
it's particularly the big crevice where the geofront is like
yes,
because
the interior.
There's an implication that they talk about the black moon and the white moon.
Yes.
The implication is that like the black moon, I think, is the moon, which is white, which is annoying. But it is like basically the geofront is in the crater in which was left when the moon crashed into the Earth, and like the moon and the Earth used to be one thing. So well, it's because they took.
Right now?
Well, no, because this isn't explicitly said anywhere. This is like the because the white moon is something else, but I'm forgetting because Karu has a line about it where it's like from the white moon comes the angels and him.
Progenitor of the legitimate successors, the angels of the now lost white moon.
Yes, because that would mean the angels come from space and the moon goes into space, right? And so the crevice there, and that's like Gendo discovered the crevice, and that's why they build Tokyo 3 near it, because it can be near the geofront. And that's also how it's like all hollowed out.
Right.
And this is like, and because they're from Lilith, and Lilith is the other moon or something. There's something going
Lilith
there.
is the black moon. Lilith, progenitor of humanity, usurper successors who arose from the black moon.
Yeah. And there's also like the because this kind of plays into the thing Ray keeps saying about like the darkness in her heart or something. It's like the darkness in everybody's heart is like the part that like makes humans hurt each other. It's like the not the echidna thing, the hedgehog thing.
Yes, the dilemma.
And so it's like things born of Lilith are like doomed to like have to communicate, and therefore they hurt each other. Whereas angels are different type shit, you know. And that's why Karu's so nice. But yeah, there's something about that. Oh, I had another leading question. Oh, there's also the thing about Sele is very mad, and they say they have 8 Ava units that they're nearly done with that they might use against Gendo, and so that's like an unresolved plot thing too.
I do know that there are more pilots. I think in End of Eva, I know there's more pilot characters that have not been introduced yet. Don't know how
True or
they
not
play
true?
into literally anything.
I cannot say, but yes. Well, that's a speculative piece, you know. If I speak, I am in trouble. But yeah, I don't know if that's the extent of the predictions, you know. Do you know anything about End of Ava? Have you seen any scenes, any screenshots, anything like that? It would be in widescreen to differentiate it in your mind.
I do know of a certain scene where a certain lance is used in a certain way.
No, that's not even it.
I have also, I will mention this. I was sent a meme by a friend. It was an Instagram reel. It was wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy edit, and of course the subject was Misato, and there was a certain scene in there that I had not seen before.
Interesting.
That kind of made me think, oh, okay. And I was anticipating that it would happen in this set of episodes, but it did not.
Yeah, I mean, you can say what it is, like everybody else has been.
It looks like Misato about to kiss Shinji. That was what it looked
Shinji
like to
Akari?
me. I closed out of it, so maybe I could be misinterpreting, and maybe Misato has been slandered.
I would think so, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not leading nothing. It's still funny because I keep tempting you to remember a scene that I'm pretty sure you have said you remember, but I guess I shouldn't.
Also, Shinji screaming in Shinji scream scene.
That wasn't the one I was talking about, but that's true. But
what scene have I? Hold on.
Do you want me to prong you?
Not really. Oh, the cum scene, yeah.
Yes, that's why I keep giggling.
Yeah, true. I also know about that, and I'm pretty sure that involves Ray. I'm pretty sure it involves Ray.
All right.
But there you go.
Ray.
I think that's actually the extent of the things I know. Asuka eye patch. Asuka had an eye patch. That's all.
Well, I
that's
don't
all I
know
got.
that.
EliteAri, will you shut the
I may have
fuck
been
up?
Rebuild. I don't know.
Oh, thanks for spoiling EliteAri.
I don't remember anything about this movie.
It is a rebuild.
I genuinely
I don't know. I didn't
take
even know.
Ari-
I don't know anything you're saying.
I don't take
Well,
Ari's lack of
if
memory.
Mia
as a-
knows something that you don't know, it could be in the rebuilds, and therefore Mia could infer that it is from the rebuilds if you don't remember it. But it also
Maybe.
could just be you have a bad memory. So
There's
who knows?
one scene I remember from that movie, and I'm looking forward to it.
I know which scene EliteAri's talking about. He talks about it all the time. But true predictions. Don't you just want to go and watch it right now?
I do.
True.
Oh my goodness! But then we'd have to wait a week to talk about it. I think. My goodness gracious me!
That's enough time to rewatch it.
True.
Oh, true. I guess that's it. Should we close things out?
Bacon,
Jockey
any
Bacon, speak
predictions?
now or forever hold your peace. Huh?
I will say nothing.
Wow.
True.
He
Good
wants
idea.
this discussion to continue so bad.
True. Bacon, just remind me quickly. You haven't seen the rebuilds either, right?
Nope.
What an
Okay, I will
experience
say
it's going
I
to
am
be.
actually looking forward to it because I had a colleague say that he liked the rebuilds more. So I was like, interesting.
I get the impression that you might, but who
Yeah, I think I
knows?
probably will.
You're a
Sorry, because
you're a
it's
tricky
condensed
fella.
down to 4 movies instead of 26 episodes.
Well, no, I think the movie that's most similar to the show you will absolutely think is terrible, but the other ones, I think you might like. Anyway, we can talk about the rebuilds more next time in our little preview thing. So maybe I can explain what they are a little bit. But true. EliteAri, prediction? Go ahead.
You know what? When I started this Ava discussion like last time, I had a feeling from my vague recollection that I would have liked the end of Evangelion more. But based on how much I like the ending here, I'm a bit scared that I might not like it as much as this ending for this show. So we'll see. Yeah.
I mean, it's literally the greatest ending of all time, and if you don't like it, you are a pussy. But we'll see. Do you remember what the ending is?
No.
It's a very famous ending. Interesting. There's like a line. Oh my goodness. Anyway, don't worry. I'll say it at the beginning of the next discussion. True. I think that's it from everybody. I think this has been like a 17-hour discussion, so that's terrific. But I actually liked it a lot. So my goodness, we'll be back to do end of Ava. Huh? What do you say, man?
I had a good time. I enjoyed it.
True. Me too. Jockey Bacon, not so much, but
I was hoping this would end an hour ago.
Wow.
We can tell by your silence, Jockey Bacon. All right, we're ending it for reals this time. We'll see you all back probably in a week. We actually don't know. We haven't confirmed it, but I'll just say a week and you can be disappointed. Support links in the description below. EliteAri, you hit him with it.
Thanks.